Baby, let me steal it. I gotta steal it. Don't you wanna steal? I've got to see you somehow. Not tomorrow, but right now. I know it's late. I can't wait. Come on and steal. Steal. Don't wanna keep thinking I might change my mind. Everybody's sleeping. Let's not waste any time. I know it's late. Oh, I can't wait. Come on and steal. Oh, steal. I know that it's wrong meeting you this way. There's no other way I can be with you. If only your folks would approve. Things like this we would have to do. Oh, I won't tell no one else. I'm gonna keep it to myself. I know it's late. Oh, I can't wait. Come on and steal.
Sexy lady, can't wait to be with you tonight. I'm intoxicated by your energy. You drive me crazy. I'm feeling the vibe and it's alright. We're gonna dance and groove all night between the sheets. So come on, baby, yeah, yeah. Gonna make it alright. Gonna make it alright. Party all night, oh yeah. Party all night, oh yeah. Move your body tonight. Move your body tonight, baby. Oh yeah. Oh, oh yeah. Oh, oh. Your body's amazing. Baby, you're perfect in every way. Let me kiss you, touch you, set your spirit free. Can you feel me? Going deeper, baby. Hiding inside your world is where I wanna be. Yeah. We can touch the sky. Then I realize that you're the one for me. I'm deep inside your love. Our love is from above. Only you and me between the sheets, baby. Move your body tonight. We're gonna make it alright. Oh yeah. We can touch the sky. Then I realize.
Good afternoon, everybody. I know this is not the face that you're used to seeing, but let me introduce myself. I am Miko Monroe, filling in for Miss Tenille Jackson, because sometimes mamas need a break too. You're listening to Parenting in the Pandemic. Now, I am nobody's parent. but I am somebody's auntie. So what we're gonna do today is kind of tackle some of that stuff. We're gonna talk about, how as the aunties in the village we can help you and how you've been kind of navigating through the pandemic with like e-learning and things like that. I'm in with Ron and Mary. So they'll be here to kind of have this dialogue with me, and let's just have a good time with that. How y'all doing this afternoon?
Great. Nice to meet you, Miko.
Doing well.
You
doing
doing
well.
well?
Doing
Oh,
well.
okay.
Got the mic voice.
So yeah, what we're gonna do today is just kind of have a dialogue about a lot of things. So we're gonna start with this. First of all, talking about parenting in a pandemic. Like I said, I am somebody's auntie. I don't know how y'all do it. I went last night, and I was just corrected on this because you know how we are as Black folks. We go in and we say fogo de chao, right? It is fogo de show. I was educated. So, fogo de show. We were there last night. My nephew turned 12. Happy birthday, Kendall. I just need to tell y'all kids are rich. These kids, like, it's not a Chuck E. Cheese situation anymore. It's not like, oh, let's just go have a good time and play in the balls and like all that. No. We're at Fogo de Show. Fogo de Show. I learned something today. See, you can always learn something. It was one of them things where it's like, I've watched these kids eat so much food, and I'm just sitting there like it was the most delectable situation, and I'm like the auntie in the room. Like, I didn't eat anything because I don't eat a lot of meat, right? So I'm in there, and I'm just like, how much of this stuff are y'all going to eat? And then the bill comes. The bill's like $600. I'm like, okay.
So you mad at the kids because they get?
Oh, I'm not mad at the kids. I just think that these new kids have a very eclectic palate.
They do.
Like,
They do.
I took my goddaughter out for sushi.
Okay,
She's like,
I was just
have a-
about to say, let's talk about that sushi.
She
because
says, I say, where do you want to go? I was babysitting because I'm the village, right? And I'm like, what do you want to eat? Now, I live in an area where there's like a McDonald's, there's like a Potbelly's, there's like, other fun, fine dining places. She's like, I've just been craving sushi all week. And I'm like,
But
craving
I
sushi?
love that though.
I'm not mad about it. I think that I was
Yeah.
more impressed by her palate because, like, even in the place, like, she's like, no, I don't like that. Like, oh, the seaweed's too sour for my taste. And I'm just like,
Okay, like
because you remember now, Red Lobster, like, of all things, think about this, when we were kids, Red Lobster was a delicacy,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yep.
So you're like,
For
we
sure.
have veered off. We thought Red Lobster was it. Now it's Fogo de Show and the sushi place on the corner that serves, like, it's amazing to me, like, how much these kids, like, have evolved in their taste and what they're learning.
You know what I think of right away as you're speaking? Chef Gordon Ramsay and his kids' cooking show.
Yes.
So kids cook.
Oh, and
They
my niece
cook.
is a baker, honey. She's 8, and she just,
So let me tell you, because I'm the village too. Me and you share that.
Yeah.
I am also the village. I am not the mother. I am a proud not the mother.
we're going to get us some shirts that says somebody's auntie,
Somebody's auntie.
because that's who we are.
Village life. What do you want? Hashtag the village life. That is real. That's so real. But yeah, like kids cook. My nieces and my nephew have corrected me many a times on cooking some things. You using the wrong spoon, turn the heat down. All that. I just
Oh, see, I'm a cook, so kids are not allowed in my kitchen. They just got to let me roll.
They get on me.
They just, so, like, those are the kind of things that, like, it just makes it worthwhile, because I feel like these kids are learning way more than we are. Like, they're way advanced, and you can think about all the stuff you learned. And I'm looking at, like, my sister's kids. Like, one of my sisters has 3 kids, the other has 1, and I'm watching them at this table last night. Like, y'all are like little old people. Like, they know what they want, they know how they want it, they know how to, like, do certain things, and it's like they're learning this stuff over the internet.
Yeah, it's a good thing, kind of.
It's amazing, right? But it's also the adverse of that. Like, okay, if you learning this, what else are you learning? Right? So you gotta.
And the nerve that come with it, the nerve.
It's the audacity for me. It really is. It's like, no, I don't like that. Can you send that back? My steak wasn't cooked well enough, and I'm
We
like,
ain't had none of that.
no, you were at the Playland at McDonald's is where you were. That's where you were, right?
It was on the kids menu.
Yes, that kids menu.
Things they don't
used to-
offer in a whole
used
lot
to
of
be the
places anymore.
business.
The kid, listen. First of all, at my age, if I'm not super hungry, I'm still eating off the kids menu. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Like I will go to places and I eat. Like I'm, a single person, so I eat, out. Like I dine out a lot. If I'm just slightly hungry, they'll look at you funny, but it's like, why would I?
You gonna go to get the kids' meal?
Absolutely. Sometimes you just need a kid's pasta. That's all you need.
That's really all you need.
That's all you need.
That's all we all need.
It's like it's not being cheap. It's I just want a little portion, and I want to enjoy this. Like I will, drink most of my dinner. I like champagne, so it's a slight balance. You got to eat some food.
It's being
in the middle
practical, but they want us to pay the non-practical prices.
Yeah, like I just think it's amazing how children have evolved.
Oh yeah,
like just how much smarter, in my opinion, they are than us at that age. Where it's like, okay, I know what I was thinking about, but like it definitely wasn't sushi or.
Yeah, we were still being kids, though. A lot of these kids aren't kids anymore.
Which brings me to the whole, and this is where the parent in the pandemic thing comes from, right? It's like, my niece she's a 1-year-old. So she was born in the midst of us being on lockdown, right? So it's kind of in a space where, like, when she gets outside, like, she is just the happiest little human I've ever seen. But this is their reality. And so like later on we'll touch on that, like, because I do this thing, I call it the Facebook, feedback. And so that's my question of the day. Like, how has like learning and like social skills and like all that stuff been affected by, being a parent in the pandemic, especially if you're working from home? Before we get to that though, I want to touch on something that is in the news right now. And this is not about parenting, but it is about education, right? I don't know where you were yesterday, Mary, or you were, Ron. I was yesterday years old when I found out that for the first time in the 77-year history that the United Negro College Fund had their first black chairman of the board.
I was yesterday years old also.
Let's make this make sense. Let me say it one more time. Because for some of us, and
I heard what you said. It's pretty tripped out.
It's really tripped out, right? So, like,
say it one more time for me.
For the first time since its inception in 1944, the United Negro College Fund has its first black chairman of the board.
You see those apples? How you like them? Not so good.
Do you enjoy these apples, Ron?
I was never a fan of NAACP. To begin with, just because of the name anyway.
Well, and I think it's twofold, right? Because I think what we do, especially in this time, and this is just to kind of veer all the way over because we'll go back to like education and like, parenting in the pandemic, but this is about education. And so I had to really think about this like the last couple of days. When I saw it, I was like, okay, of course I'm in an uproar, right? I'm calling on Lou Rawls to fix it. That's how I felt because that's what you know, right? You're a kid, you know this, like it's Lou Rawls. It's like, how do we not know these things? So I took it a step further because I do think that sometimes we get into a space where we take stuff at face value. So if you see it on the internet, and black internet was in an uproar.
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday. Like it was like, I know it's not happening. We flipping over the tables, we cussing, we fussing. But in an effort to have like the conversation about it, I did a little research, right? Yes, this is true, that this is the first black person man or woman, that they've elected as the chairman of the board for the United Negro College Fund. It was founded by a black man. His first donor was John Rockefeller. So this, like, historically has been, this thing, and so now they have, like, different tiers of how it works for HBCUs and all of that. Not something I had experienced because I didn't go to an HBCU, right? So even when you learn stuff in like grade school and how this stuff works and like, I don't know, I'll age myself. Like we had like AXO and like things like that where we remember this stuff, right? So you learn a little bit, but if it's not like something that you have to actually be educated in knowing all the time, you don't know. So the uproar yesterday was like, oh, I know y'all lying, right? Like, and also, why is it still called Negro? Well, now we know. Right? I said that to say, in reading more, I was like, you can take it at face value and you could be mad and everybody make their jokes and everybody's upset. But then when I did this reading, I found out the whys and how it's tiered and all of that. So then in my mind, I went, am I really mad? Or am I just like shocked and appalled that this is the first time? And like in 2021, we're still having these type of firsts, right? Like 77 years in 2021, we should not be celebrating the fact that the United Negro College Fund has a black chairman for the first time.
And why is it only one? Go ahead and bring in 50 and 30 of them. And,
right.
You
So,
know.
yeah, and reading this, it's like, oh, there are tiers. There's like, they have a board of people who are just comprised of just HBCU presidents that probably have more control than the people at the table. So there are 18 people at the table. He just happens to sit in the big chair now. That's it. And half of them are us and half of them are.
If it is half of us, if is half of them us?
According to what they said. So, you know, the idea of it is, you know, for me, like, are we really surprised? Because of all the things that we are crusading for and or against, it's still the United Negro College Fund.
It was like 17 of them up there, and it's like 14-3.
Right, it said half. So I just know what them people told me. They said half, but they said 99%. 99% of the like institutional board.
Like the staff.
No, not the staff. Just the institutional board is 99%, and that's like basically made up of HBCU presidents. I can dig it. Right?
Okay.
But this is the point of that is like we take stuff when we're on the internet, like blacks, we be ready to roll. You see it, and especially right now, like we be ready to roll. So this whole uproar was like, you can take this at face value or you go read a little bit, right? So is it like, are we at fault sometimes for not
You have to do your research.
digging deeper
You got to do your research.
and not taking stuff at face value?
We are at fault. So you're always at fault when you don't have the facts.
And that's the problem. So,
Yeah.
like, a lot of times we see this stuff and we see not black enough, not blackity black, especially when it comes to education, right? So we took that, and I mean, when I say, I'm not on Twitter a ton, but I am on, like, Facebook. And Facebook, in all the groups, it was a situation.
And all of
Like,
them.
they were ready to scour out all, like, anything that had NAACP. They were like, we're going to look for all of the organizations that we thought were for us and by us, and just try to get rid of everybody now.
That's a whole new job.
It's a whole,
That's,
and I'm
that
like,
is a brand new job.
so instead of like,
cancel some.
listen,
Cancel.
we talked about cancel culture yesterday morning, and I'm like, so now is this the part where we get on the bus and we're like, we're going to cancel the UNCF?
It's the part. It's the part. That
Are we
part
really doing
exists
that?
now. The cancel culture is real. It exists.
No, because we don't do nothing but complain.
And that's my point. So, like, you know, this morning, I'm like, you know, but you have to ask yourself,
they just
I'm like,
want
am
to
I just
complain.
shocked? But I'm not surprised because it's still, like, of all the things that we fought for, United Negro College Fund is still the Negro College Fund. Nobody thought to be like, nah, we need to change that in the midst of changing things, right? And we done took off the Lando Lakes Indian. We didn't got rid of Aunt Jemima. But we still the United Negro College Fund, right?
What would you change it to?
You know, I hadn't thought of that because so here's the thing. It never bothered me because I've never heard a complaint about how they allocate their funds. Like even up until All-Star Weekend, they had raised like $3 million or something like that.
That makes sense.
And it goes to HBCUs. But on the other side of that, it's not something that I've ever had to dig deeper into because I didn't go to an HBCU. So I ain't getting all that money. And it wasn't something that I had to like deeply research or any of that because it wasn't a part of my reality.
Right.
Right?
I understand.
But I'm black, like blackity black. So you look into it and now you can see it on the internet. You're like, no, I know that they're not still doing this. And like, who did he replace? And so I'm like Rockefeller, like Eleanor Roosevelt, JFK, like, and this is how this, you know, started, even though it was started by a black man, right?
Right.
Over the course of the 77 years, it's been what it has been, and nobody said anything. So now that social media exists and it's news, it's like, yay, but nah, wait a minute. Are you telling me this whole time? Like, and that's kind of how the conversation went yesterday. Like, people were like, I don't really know how to feel.
Just a little shock factor.
Yeah. So it's like, are we shocked? Are we mad?
What
Or are
do we
we
want to do about it?
What are we going to do about it?
And at this point, like, should you even be that shocked?
And that's what I said.
Not that shock. I think it's the awareness factor, right? Because especially via social media, there's so many things that are coming to the forefront on just opening up
But
conversations about what is necessary. Like a lot of us weren't paying attention until
that's-
social
but
media puts this stuff in front of your face.
that black people buy into and consume or like is owned by somebody white. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, we know this.
Like we this is nothing new.
I
It's
think it's just a
nothing new.
part of understanding what the history of these organizations are. You know, like, and it's the same thing with like the NAACP. You know, they've been around forever, but it wasn't founded by us. But it was the crusader that we had because, you know, a lot of times we looked to other people to lead us in a certain way, especially when it came to financial, you know, situations. So I don't know that I'm super mad about it, but it's like the shock of it all was like, how did we let this just kind of slide through all the crusading and the things that we're doing, especially when it comes to our education? But the other part about it is, if they had made the announcement, we still wouldn't know.
And it's going to
Again,
pass,
awareness.
and we're not going to care in the next.
We're not going to care.
The next
It's like,
day
you
or
know what?
two.
I feel like, and this is like, I'm going to have, and so in the midst of this, just let me pause and say this, guys. I am getting my own platform on here starting in April, so I'm very excited about that. But what I will tell you right now is that a lot of times my opinion won't be always the popular one, right?
Congratulations.
Thank you. So even in saying that, it's like, I don't know that I'm that mad about it because we would not have known had we not had the influences that we have now. And I think that the problem about the uproar for me was nobody actually read the article because it was all right there and the history and the why and like all of that. So are we just shocked? Is it the new movement? Do we cancel UNCF? Do we like, what is it that we're supposed to do now that it's one of those like, okay, so what am I supposed to do with this information? Congratulations, dude. I don't see there being an effective change because I've never heard not one solid complaint about anything that the UNCF did. And I could be wrong. Nothing that they've done, you know, the wrong way.
I guess it's a stick around. You know, everybody is not assigned to everything as well. So that's something that I like to acknowledge is that you can feel a way about something, but everybody's not a leader. And what makes you jump up out of your seat is not going to make the next person jump up out of your seat.
Correct.
So I'm a cheerleader of if it's speaking to you and if it's burning you and you sitting here really, really, really complain about it, then do something about it.
But then what to do?
That's for that person.
Because it's like, so what are you like? What are you to do?
It'll wake them up in the middle of the night. If it's waking you up in the middle of the night, then go ahead and pick up that call.
It didn't wake me up. I was just like, what? Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So then we live to see another day, and the money is allocated the same, and that's just how I felt. Like that's like
I feel you on that one.
in the general scope of it for me was like there was so much anger and like disappointment in people yesterday that I was like, well, you know, what's the next step? Is there a call to action for this? I don't think so.
Nah, it's not.
I just think that people, you know, they don't do their research. They like to complain. They don't know what it like the levels of this stuff is, and so
There's a saying, you complain, you stay the same.
and that's a fact. And that's a fact. So it's like, you know, are we just gonna throw it under the, you know, okay, well, now we learned something new and we keep it moving, or is it like now we got to go through, like I said before, and just go through the list of organizations. Like, all right, let's see who's at the head, and let's form this alliance and figure it out.
Somebody's probably doing that at this point.
No, let's-
Oh, I'm
It might be
sure.
someone
I'm
that's doing
sure.
that.
Let's
Good
not
for
go
that
down that
person.
rabbit hole. Let's not do that.
I'm just saying, I'm sure they're like the
Yeah.
things that I saw yesterday was like they were just very all over the place. Like I'm and you'll get to know me. Like I'm a jokester when it comes to stuff, especially on Facebook, right? And I'm like, oh no, this is crap. Like Lou Rawls didn't die for this. This is wild, right? It's funny to me because it's like the only thing I ever knew, literally, about how that worked was Lou Rawls. He could have been the chairman of the board for all I knew, but it was, like I said, again, it wasn't anything that I had to actually, you know, in all the education and like, you know, grade school and all that, it wasn't something that was on my daily platter because I didn't attend those type of schools. So I didn't attend an HBCU. So like, it wasn't anything for me to like kind of peer into. And so people are mad, like they're big mad.
Yeah, but y'all need to get over it.
Boosie says, watch where and who you donating to and make sure it's aligned with your goals and values. That's why I give directly. We also have Raymond saying it was Asians as the face of these organizations pushing it. So that's always kind of.
And that's the thing. Those are the things that I agree with. Like, you know, I'm a big fan of, you know, when you're donating your money, you know, you're doing adequate research. And sometimes there is the small person. And I would rather give my money to where it's supposed to go as opposed to you trying to figure out how to take your piece and then.
Yeah, because that goes into back to the conversation. We don't shop black, and now everybody's upset. Like y'all didn't do your research in the first place, but now you're mad. Like we don't shop black.
And that's my point. Like all this
so
hoopla yesterday, it was like, yeah, but
mad.
if y'all had just read just a little bit, you would know that this is not the bigger issue. Like this has been going on literally since 1944, and this is where he got the money from in the first place. So like,
we should have been doing this research.
Yeah.
And before we do anything, we should do our research
all the time. You know, but when it comes to like, especially when it comes to like the educational value, right? Because now, like you said, people will peer into this and they'll be, oh, well, we don't know where this went and like that went, and so I don't. But the truth is, like I said, I've never heard any complaint about how UNCF allocates their funds. And they said, like yesterday, like it's been no secret that our board is made up of like half of this and half of that. We've never made that a secret. You just didn't read.
You just didn't care.
And you just didn't care. You just didn't care.
You still don't really care.
But it's something to say out loud because of the space that we're in. Like we're in the pandemic, so you pay more attention to this type of stuff, and they did make the announcement. I've never heard of the announcement before, but because it's so historic, you know, and the issue is, are we really still having these first in 2021?
Absolutely.
And I think that's what's wilder to me than who it is. Like the first black person ever in 77 years.
And there will still be more of those.
It's going to be a lot
of those.
There's going to be a lot more of those.
You know, the more we gear towards like diversity and inclusion, especially when it comes to education and stuff like that, there are going to be a ton of them. So we can't keep being surprised.
And we can't keep
because we already know.
And we can't keep being distracted either, because distraction precedes destruction.
Yeah. And I think this is like a complete, in my mind, just congratulations is still a distraction.
And there you go.
Because now we mad about something else today when there's a whole lot of other stuff going on that we should really be mad about. So
move on, basically, is what you're saying.
I don't even say move on. I'm saying have your moment.
Have your moment.
Is this something that is destructive to our community? I don't think so. I think that, you know, it's still the old boys club. They're going to move their money how they want to move their money. And he's been around for a while in the organization, and so now he sits in the big chair. That's it. That's it. That is it. Like, it just really, I wasn't affected after I, you know, decided I was going to read. Reading is fundamental, people. Yeah. Click on the article, read a little bit. Don't be big mad until you have a reason to be. Right? We're going to take a quick break. We're on parenting in the pandemic. We're going to come back and actually talk about parenting in the pandemic. I am Miko Monroe. I'm filling in for Miss Tenille Jackson because mama needs a break sometimes. And we will be right back.
WIFTBPM. Everybody's talking about the all-new Sam Silk's Chicken and Fish. Place your order today for a delicious meal. The chicken and fish are fried to perfection, featuring a wide variety of catfish, perch, tilapia, whiting, and shrimp. Now it's your turn to see what everybody's talking about. It's the all-new Sam Silk's Chicken and Fish, Chicago's newest spot for delicious meals. Stop by at 2537 South Wabash in the South Loop, or get contactless delivery from DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Postmates. For more info, call 773-807-9010. 773-807-9010. Sam Silk's Chicken and Fish is open just in time for lunch, or take it to the house for a delicious dinner. It's Chicago's new spot for perfectly fried chicken and fish. Don't wait any longer. Try it today. Sam Silk's Chicken and Fish, 2537 South Wabash in the South Loop. Sam Silk's Chicken and Fish.
You
got to Kennedy King. So you remember Corey Brown?
I definitely remember Corey Brown from Morgan Park.
Yes, sir.
Man,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Murder, man. So I got it in with y'all one day before a game. And then y'all literally went out and destroyed some people by about 50 at Kennedy King. And I'll never forget, somebody shot a jumper. It came off long. And Corey will tell this story to this day. He says he went up, and I was in the stands. He went up for the rebound, and before he could jump, he said he felt a foot on his head. And it was you. And you caught it, classic P-Mac, catching it over everybody, putting it back in. He says before he jumped, he felt a foot on his head. And Corey was 6'4", easy.
On his head.
On his head.
Yeah, Corey was 6'4", man. I used to just, I don't know, I had a knack, man. I was always uber athletic. Like I was taught early, if somebody shoot, you got to come from the opposite side. I had a guy in my neighborhood named Wayne Irvin, legendary dude to us in our neighborhood. Played at Chicago State, played at Wyoming.
Okay.
Played against Patrick Ewing. He passed away a couple years ago, but went to CVS. He was a decorated player. A lot of people knew him. And he taught me early, like, you attack offensive rebounds from the opposite side. So if somebody shoot from the left wing, you crash from the right. If somebody shoot from the top of the key, you can crash because it can go either way and you can get it. I was so big and athletic. I used to get a lot of tip dunks. Like, for some reason, people never boxed me out. And once I got a running start, if it came off anywhere over the rim and bounced up, you was dead.
This is Eugene McIntosh, one half of the illest independent sports media outlet in the whole entire land, the Bigs. Check me and my player partner Terrence Tomlin, a.k.a. T-Tom the Great, out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. on What's In It for the Black People Media Network.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
You sure looking good tonight, baby. I just wanna make sweet love to you tonight, baby. If you don't mind, let me tell you.
Hey there, sexy lady of my dreams. Can I have you here with me? I just wanna love you down. Yeah. I'm making you scream my name. Loving your body. I'll be kissing your body. And I'll be caressing your body. Oh, baby, just come on. Loving your body. I'll be loving, feeling your body. And I'm gonna touching your body all night, baby. Now I'm about to fulfill your fantasy. So come a little closer, bring your body to me. I'm trying to take my time, I won't rush at all. 'Cause you deserve the best. I'm gonna love, I'm gonna kiss.
Welcome back to Parenting in the Pandemic. I know I'm not the face you're used to seeing. I'm filling in for Miss Tenille Jackson. I am Miko Monroe. A little bit about myself. I am a voiceover artist. I own a company called Girl Friday Inc., where we do a bunch of different things. I own an apparel brand, so if you're looking at this shirt, you can probably get it later. Also, I do brunches once a month under the brand Brunchaholics. We're having our first anniversary on Sunday at the Renaissance. So if you're interested in coming to that, then I will add some tags in the end. You can follow me on Instagram at Miko Monroe. That's MIKKOMONRO. So, Mary, Ron, let's get back into it. I do want to keep with, what we came here for, and that's parenting in the pandemic, even though Mary and I are somebody's aunties, right? So because I'm somebody's auntie, I took to a thing that I call Facebook feedback, right? So I asked this question yesterday in the vein of wanting to know how, as a village, we can kind of help and just what the experiences are for. You roll your eyes, Mary. Why? Mary says she's not helping. She's not babysitting no kids. That's what Mary just said. It was all in her face. You didn't
That
see
was
that.
that was such a deep role.
It was a moment. Like I felt like
Such a deep
I
role.
felt that in my shondo, right up in here. I felt she was like, "Yeah, I'm the village, but don't call me in the day to babysit."
so deep.
So
So deep.
the question I asked just a bunch of my friends, because I do have a ton of friends who are parents, who are, working from home and like, just kind of struggling. Some of them work remotely. I have a friend who she's a traveling nurse in the pandemic. So for her, it's kind of been a struggle. I have a friend, she lives in Florida. She actually decided to take her daughter out of e-learning and just homeschool her the traditional way, and they put her back into school when it's safe. So the question I asked, I said, how have your children done with e-learning in this pandemic? I said, for the parents working from home, has it been a struggle of balancing and multitasking for you? I have friends from all over the country, and I'll say it started like this. My friend Joy in Atlanta, her name is Fulia Sugarbaker, which is hilarious to me. On Facebook, she says, as I told someone earlier today, these schools need to come and get their kids. They are tired of us, and we are out of wine. So that's one perspective, right? That sounds like me as a mom, so I get it. On another perspective, my friend Donna said, she said the struggle is real. Her son is Tyson. She said he's okay academically, but it's hard. She said his teachers are amazing, and she's grateful for that, but it's the social and emotional factor that he misses out on because he's 12, and so he misses his friends. On the other side of that, my sister, my nephew Kendall, he's just turned 12 yesterday. He has straight A's because he's not a social kid. So for him, it's not been a struggle at all. He gets up, he doesn't have to be blocked. I have never met a child, like he's like 70 years old in his space. I've never met a child who just like hates kids. He's not a social kid. He's getting straight A's because this is an environment that he thrives in. He can focus. It's not a lot of background noise. Like I remember, him being maybe like 5 and the teacher like saying like he does not get along. He said, these kids are too loud. I'm trying to learn. That's just him. So like these opinions vary. And it's very interesting to me because especially coming like from working from home, people say it's rough the first month or like, they're doing the very best they can because it also alters how they work from home. So there's this multitasking element of it is like, you are always on so many levels, whether you work a 9 to 5 or you work a corporate job, because we all know corporate jobs are not technically 9 to 5. That's the same thing as you being in your office and having to work late, right? So now having to juggle like one or more kids, I asked this perspective because I wanted to know, like, even as the village, don't roll your eyes at me no more, Mary.
Oh, no.
Mary, like, don't ask me nothing about this.
No, it's
But,
all good.
I find it that people are saying that on the one hand, it's extremely difficult to do both. And so the question is, like, how, even as aunties or, like, navigating through e-learning, like, how do we help? Because there's also the complaint that the teachers, they're like half at work because they're at home, too.
You mean how do we, the village, help?
Yes. We don't want to help.
No, I helped a lot.
I'm not a parent either, but I do have a goddaughter.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have to take her out of her house and bring her to my house just so she can focus because there's so many kids at her house.
Right.
And it could be hard especially when kids nowadays, they have electronics and everything. Mm-hmm. It's hard to focus when you're not at school because it's so easy to go access all the other stuff. You can minimize your work and Goop and pull up YouTube nowadays.
Right, and because the idea of it also is like if you're working from home, you cannot monitor. I mean, like I said, I'm not a parent, but you cannot monitor like the whole time what they're intaking and how this is going and what the flow is and the teachers and all of that.
Savvy because she's in a house full of adults who aren't tech savvy. So so they don't know most of the time. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So they have to call and ask questions, and then and if you asking a kid a question, if they just gonna tell you what they want you to hear.
Yeah, and then I think on the other, like I've heard so many horror stories from my friends where it's like if it's on the one hand like it's submitting work, right? Perfect example of this was like one of these kids, like there was a way to do it, and because it's technology, it didn't work out like that, right? So they submitted it the best way they knew how, and the teacher then flunked them out, like failed them because they're like, this is not the way you were told to do it. And it's like you said, if I'm at home with my grandma and my grandma don't know how to use this stuff, you know what I mean? So like, at what point is it a detriment to the kids? Because you cannot monitor like the entire time, especially if you're working from home. So it's like
you lose.
Where's the balance in that?
It's hard to find a balance, I think, because we've been in it for so long now. We're getting around to balancing things out, like with this hybrid situation.
Right.
But I definitely feel like one of the most so your nephew is he's a special case in that he doesn't deal with kids.
No, and I agree with that.
So that's wonderful, but for the most part, that social aspect, whether it's from home or at school, that suffers.
Yeah, I think that and kids really do need to be social.
We all need to be
like
social.
If you're an only child, right, and you're in a pandemic and you're just used to having that time, you know, during the day where you're being social and you're learning social skills. Like to me, it's social skills. And so I asked my friend Donna, I said, you know, like, do you think that this has affected like his social skills? And she's like, you know, he's 12 and yes, he misses his friends. And I sincerely hope, you know, because the idea is they're now being raised in this space of like a bubble.
A bubble.
It's a bubble.
It's a straight up bubble.
So if you don't have siblings and you don't have like kids that you're allowed to be around all the time, like school is just that outlet.
Period.
Where you finally like step outside your bubble. So like my question
and
for them.
That's how you're going to learn more of who you are.
Exactly.
With the relationships that you have with others. That's where you get to learn what you like, what you don't like, what works for you. Even like when you do certain type of activities.
Yeah.
I may not like playing football, but I may love to play basketball.
Or I just may love like the thought of just being active. And so if you're like, you know, I know that early on she's like, oh, they have and I did this because we laughed because they have like her son has like PE at home.
Yes.
How do you monitor PE at home?
As an auntie teacher, because that's what I became.
Listen, I took the lesson plan because I wanted to know how to work out at home, but
I became an auntie teacher. That's why I'm a little bit scarred. That's why that
deep
was in the building because
you was triggered.
I was triggered. Okay.
Mary was triggered. She's like, I don't want to help because I tried this already.
Because I became a full out auntie teacher. My mom, my sister, she had to work. Her husband had to work. I am the free bird of the operation. So I came in and took on a full-time job, basically. And then we did this situation where, you guys remember when a pandemic first happened and we were like, oh, we don't know if people are going to get crazy and if they're going to put us on lockdown.
We need toilet paper. We need stuff.
So we came together.
Zombie apocalypse.
My sister and I, we came together. It was like, you know what? We are in this household. If something happens, then we got a third adult on all the kids. There's 3 kids.
So you really literally became the village.
I became the village.
I love it.
An auntie teacher. We had the curriculum, and then it was almost like auntie teacher, auntie mom, because you're right. It's you have to balance and juggle so much. And I watch even these siblings get tired of us. We were tired of them. It was like the variety was out the window.
Because you
had to make up stuff. And whereas you can come together and learn one another, it's still like we need an outside experience.
All the time. And I just think as adults, we need that. So we went through that. Like, you know, I randomly was quarantined in December because I got sick, right?
Yeah.
So I was fine because I had stuff that I needed to work on and like all that stuff. But then as it slowly started creeping out, it was like, wait a minute. I like it here, but there are also no people here. Like, I just want the option, right? So it's like kids, if you don't have siblings or like cousins or like you said, Ron, in a place where like your goddaughter is, where there are other kids around, you don't have social interaction with people around your age. And so I think it's a very scary thing because now once this is over, they've conditioned themselves. It's habitual at some point, right? So now you have to try to acclimate your kids again to being social.
And then you have to think about the rebellion and all of this because at the point where you let me out the house, I'm going buck wild, which is why I think we've seen a lot of crime come up. A lot more crime, I should say. I think that, you know, a lot of kids didn't get a chance to go to their graduation and stuff like that. So, of course, you're outside in the streets wilding, whether you got your mask on or not. You just trying to get out. Like, let me out of this joint. Get me out.
And it's really just one of those things where it's like, I think my fear for, especially like smaller children and only like that kind of thing is like they don't understand what social interaction is at that point when you go back to school, or like, you know, maybe this was like your first grade, like the first time you've actually been in a room full of kids, and you get cut off, and it's like, now I got to go back to this, and it's like I don't know what to do with my hands, people, or am I supposed to be able to hug people? Like, because we're teaching them a different way of living right?
My niece had a question about whether she was able to hug a friend or touch a friend. It was so sad to hear her have to ask about touch in general.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, how do you even answer this question? This is horrible. This whole bubble.
Because there's no like real
space.
answer. It's like, okay, well, when I can take off your hazmat suit and you don't live in a bubble, like, how do you wing children back into society?
And there was, at one point, I was like, reach out your arm. If you can reach out your arm, then, and they're on the other side of your arm, you can drop your mask. If they're close to your elbow, then keep the mask. It was like I don't like the conversation. It's scary.
It's sad in the new norm, because it's also even in a classroom, right? Mm-hmm. You're so used to looking at your computer, just like you, when you're at home, you're looking at, I don't know, my niece watches Coco Melon. Like, that's her thing, right? She has learned how to dance real good, and she's a very smart 1-year-old, but that's how she's learning. But kids 12 and, like, you know, that are used to being in a classroom, you go back to the classroom, like, what does that do to your attention span?
I've been worried about teenagers and depression.
I can agree with that too.
Like, just straight up depression, and a lot of teenagers I know, they just want to go to like the military, or it's like the lack of aspiration to do anything in his life is just null and void. I don't care. Why would you care? You're not really interacting with the world. You're not interacting with people. Why would you care to do anything? Why would you care to work any job? Why would you care to do any activity? Like, I'm not a part of this world. I am sitting in a room.
Yeah.
I am looking at a screen, and you want to ask me about what I plan to do with my life.
And
what do y'all plan to do with?
So Boosie says that her child was a special needs a case, and they gave her the option of in person or remote, and she chose in person because she felt that her child needs that, especially the special needs children. There's all type of, not just special needs. Every different child needs a different type of attention.
Exactly.
Agree.
And I think that what's scary is, like, and back to what you were saying about the teenagers, right? This is the time where you get to know your friends and you're doing fun stuff and activities and all that. And like, all you're doing now is like, you know, we've all been teenagers. So we know even in class, it's like I had a world history teacher. I had to be like 15, right? This lady hated me. And I know that, right? Because I was a kid that was like, here, my work is done for the week. I'm bored. I need to go to the bathroom. I spent the entire time in the hallway just because I knew that we had some kind of weird tension.
I got a no hallway pass.
Oh, yeah. No, I had a complete mine was, we talked to the dean. It was like, look, as long as my work is done, I'm really not learning anything. Like, you know, I don't, you know, we have some kind of weird tension, and she's an adult, and I'm just not, you know, in order to not say the things that I feel like you're going to force me to say, I just need to leave the class. I was one of those kids, okay? I'm not going to lie about it. So every time I'd be in class for 10 minutes, turning my work, I need to go to the bathroom, right? That was my interaction with her. But, like, and, you know, as a teenager, your attention span is just very different anyway, right? You start to form your own thoughts and opinions and how you choose to learn and all of that. So now I think the scary part, like you said, is, like, you're being forced to learn in a certain way. And we all know, as we were teenagers, our attention spans are like, I got about 10 minutes in here, and I don't know what this lady talking about. So I'm about to go and do something else. And I think that they suffer more than the younger kids, because the younger kids are used to watching YouTube and like that kind of thing. But now we're in a space where, as teenagers, you're formulating your own thoughts and opinions and the way you choose to learn and how you're learning, and you're learning more advanced things. It's hard to do that.
And the screen,
focus.
The screen goes black. Have you noticed that? Have you seen that where you're watching, specifically teenagers when they're in school, they put up the blank screen?
Oh, I've
you
seen
don't
that.
see their face.
Yeah.
So now you're sitting in a classroom where everybody has this black screen. No one is looking at each other, seeing each other, and to me, that is a direct reflection of what may even be going on with how you feel inside or how you feel about the outside world. Is that you're completely blank.
I mean, but think about when you were a teenager, right? Like, I stayed in my room most of the time. I need to be by myself. So the last thing I want, if I don't, I mean, you have to be there, but you are in control of your environment. I can hear you. Doesn't mean that I need to be totally involved.
I don't even like showing my face in Zoom meetings.
That's what I'm saying. So think about that. Think about.
So in the Zoom meetings, that's exactly what I'm saying. But if you're in school, even if you want to fade out, you still are being seen. So there's a certain level of accountability that's there.
Yeah, but it's like, again, it goes back to parenting, right? If you have other kids at home that are younger that require a different type of attention, and you're working from home, your teenager kind of loses out past you like, all right, just making sure you're doing your work, because they can hold their own.
Yeah,
they don't have to be coddled and like babysat, so to speak. But they're also teenagers. Like I was an awkward teen. So I know, like, I ain't want to see or do much. I was like, okay, look, as long as I get it done, leave me alone. So now I can control this, and it's like, well, I turned in my work. Why do I have to sit here? And why are we looking at each other like this? No, I'm probably gonna do the same thing. I probably would have been the blackout kid, not because anything was wrong with me, but just because I was probably in my room doing a whole nother set of stuff because it's in my room, and it's my business because I'm a teenager. Right?
I agree.
So it's just, you know, I feel for these kids because I feel like there's going to be a lack. And I think it scares me, like when this is over and they come out of it.
How is that going to translate into
How
the
is it going to
world?
translate into like the world and trying to basically like you got to hit restart because things are going to change no matter what. Like the new norm is a thing, right? So it's never going to go back to like, oh, we can go to the gym. Remember, did y'all have this in grammar school? Like, it was, you go to gym class, and they had like this super tent. It was like a rainbow tent. And you do this, and everybody was, that was the best day of my life.
It was like a parachute type of game.
We can't do that with the kids no more. There's a different activity level, right?
That was so dangerous.
It was reckless. It was so fun though.
You know,
like
the best games are the most dangerous. Come on.
Because we didn't think about it not being. It was like, man, I cannot wait. It was that and Friday pizza for me, right? So it was like you go to the gym and you know this parachute thing is in there, and you're like, we gonna have fun. We can stay in this thing and we just gonna play for an hour, and that's it. You think about the stuff you can't do anymore. Because you can't have the kids be in this confine.
I've seen them try to do gym at
remotely.
Home. Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
It's like there's no space.
I'm not kidding. My girlfriend Donna, she put like the curriculum for the gym on Facebook, and I'm looking at this like, okay, we're all in the pandemic, and I'm like, yo, I need that. It was real stuff. It was like 30 burpees. This, that, and I'm like, this is a real workout. For like a 12-year-old, I was like, can you send me every week what his curriculum for the gym is going to be? Because this seems like something I should be doing. Now, I did it, but I can't say that he got up every day. Like, do you know how, in my mind, silly Gym for One is as a kid? So you got a screen in your class, and everybody's in the class listening to somebody tell them to do 20 jumping jacks. If I'm at home and I'm a teenager,
that screen gonna go black.
I'm getting ready to, it's gonna go black. I'm gonna fail gym for sure. Cause I feel crazy, right? So now it's so many things that like I think concern me about how we're going to put the kids back in the environment that I feel like they so desperately need safely without it being so far left of what we consider normal. Because normal has changed. And it's sad, right? It's kind of sad.
Very sad. But it's a whole world online now. It's a lot that you can do online. And so, to one's benefit, I can say that a lot of teenagers, a lot of kids are being productive online. A lot of businesses are coming up out of this.
No, and I agree with that. So I will give kudos to parents who have used the time, very wisely to teach them things that they probably wouldn't learn in school, like economics and how to, maintain businesses and things like that, because we have to do things and navigate them a little different.
That's where parenting in the pandemic comes in.
And this is what parenting in the pandemic is, right? So listen, guys, I got a little bit of time left. I do want to say thank you to Mary and thank you to Ron for navigating me through my first day when I was thrown through the wolves here.
You got it.
Again, I am filling in on the What's in It for the Black People Network for Miss Tenille Jackson. We did a little bit of parenting in the pandemic as the aunties of this group. So I want to say thank you. Keep in tune. I will be on the air at some point in April. We'll figure out times and dates and spaces. Again, thank you for embracing me and thank you for having me. And I will see you guys next time.
WIFTBPM.
If he'll move on, I feel like even not myself, I am his clone. I cannot slay, cannot write none of my songs. I cannot sing, busy trying to right his wrongs. I lost myself, looking for somebody else. I lost my way, hoping the last one out is dead. I'm built like Ford, I'm a rider to the death. I'm built like glass, I'm hanging on by a thread.
Lift my people from all this pain. Raise my daughter to be a good woman. Live a life that's not in vain. It's not hard to explain. I want a life that's beautiful. Life that's beautiful. We don't trust them. They don't trust us. We don't trust each other. Conflict is a must. We got war abroad. We got war at home. Paranoid people packing guns like cell phones. Need inspiration. Rise up to hold it down. Sick of seeing young bodies laying on the ground. We got to organize like they used to be. You want to make it beautiful, you got to stay true. Can I find a way to escape this madness? Lift my people from all this pain. Raise my daughter to be a good woman. Live a life that's not in vain. It's not hard to explain. I want a life that's beautiful. Life that's beautiful. Life that's beautiful. Life that's beautiful. I know good people, lives in the right lane, say the right thing, manage life and maintain. They dream every night, they pray every day, they build for the future and live for the day. The world is full of possibilities, don't accept what you are, cause that's all that you see. Elevate your spirit, liberate your mind, your life's transformation will come in due time. Can I find a way to escape this madness? Lift my people from all this pain. Raise my daughter to be a good woman. Live a life that's not in vain. It's not hard to explain. I want a life that's beautiful. Life that's beautiful. Life that's beautiful. Life that's beautiful. I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm not saying that it's hard. But I know you can make it. If you believe in God, make something out of nothing. Be the best that you are. And you can make life so beautiful. Life so beautiful. Can I find a way to escape this madness? Lift my people from all this pain. Raise my daughter to be a good woman. Live a life that's not in vain. It's not hard to explain. I want a life that's beautiful. Life that's beautiful. Life that's beautiful. Life that's beautiful. To escape this madness, lift my people from all this pain. Raise my daughter to be a good woman. Live a life that's not in vain. It's not hard to explain. I want a life that's beautiful. Life that's beautiful. Life that's beautiful. Life that's beautiful.
provide lessons so I could become the heartbeat of righteousness. The everyday fight to pump the blood of kings and breathe the breath of life. Moving up like Confederates and Yankee territories in the 17th century. But it's a thin line between divinity and iniquity. The Mason-Dixon hitting and complacent decisions can't escape the collision. Time be idle like Billy, party like a rock star, fall like that girl that used to endorse Trim Spa or Nirvana's lead vocalist, the clientele of the dream merchant like Mr. Chappelle. People think I'm sick in the mind and leave the comforts of Babylon behind and book flights on airlines to Africa. Traveling the globe, accomplishing goals like Ronaldinho. The victim of a level 12 quake, I rise through the wreckage, repairing brain damage and striving for perfection. Your mind can be your worst antagonist or a true pal, and you shall become legendary and futile. Decisions of a god in training on a daily basis. I nap purposely, trying to escape it. The thin line between the mastermind and the man of the master. Which one are you after? The thin line between being a legend and being the captor. Which one are you after? The thin line between the mastermind and the man of the master.
Hey, what's happening? What's happening out there? Welcome to the green side of things. It's your man Sadiq.
And Cassiopeia.
And we need you to like,
comment,
and share.
that thing.
Do it right now. Invite some people around this lunch table. Good afternoon. Cassie, how are you?
What's up? How are you?
What's up? I'm good. I'm balanced.
You are.
I'm balanced. I had a very good friend share that story with me a couple of days ago. Shout out to my man Dre.
Yes.
I'm balanced.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I like you in your bright yellow today.
Yeah, I had to switch it up a little bit. I'm a Black Mall fan. Hey. We have to buy black, be black, understand black, be blackity black, and it is Black Women's History Month.
Okay.
No doubt. And we are still on it. And we're gonna keep going. We're gonna rock it.
Music, yeah.
Okay,
we gonna keep. We got Ryan Rilla in there in the house, our super producer.
Whoa, yo, what up, y'all?
How you feel,
What's
bro?
happening?
Great.
That's what I'm talking about. Almost Friday. Not quite, but just almost. We're going into the green side weekend. It's our weekend when we get off the air today.
Come on now. It is.
It is. What do you mean? Because we don't have a show tomorrow. That's why, if we get some more programming, but all of the really big shows go, it's like Maze, Todd, and Ruthie, the Maze Jackson show in the morning, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Is Wiz, Herb and 2, Monday through Friday. See what I'm saying? Yeah. And then we in the middle, Dawn,
lighten
Monday
up
through
everybody's
Friday.
life, and then they be missing us.
Right, they miss us. We get notes like that, like, y'all not on Friday? No.
I be kind of missing y'all too.
We miss you.
Don't act like y'all really want to be here 5 days though.
I mean,
listen,
God hold you to it.
I would love it. We would just have to figure out a good, sweet deal to make that happen.
A good, sweet deal.
But we're working on that,
We're working on it.
Because, I would love to, listen, if I could just be on the air every day.
Every day, 5 days a week.
Yeah,
that would
somebody
be
run
sweet.
me a check for that. For me to talk shit. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's okay. We're going to stay in balance today. Cassie, we're gonna give you 10 good ones today.
Oh,
you 10? We got 2 hours, 5 an hour.
5 an hour.
Now you
okay,
down
I'm
to 4.
Down to 4.
You down, right. Help me keep track, Rod. Like so yeah, we on number 4. So anyway, everybody, again, welcome into the room. I'm excited. It's really a great time to be alive. You know what I call this?
I'm listening.
I call it the melanated millennium.
That's real talk. That's definitely what it
is. It is as we return to the way the earth and the universe was thousands of years ago. It's kind of like the Sankofa bird, looking back to an otherwise move forward.
And not that many thousands of years ago, just a couple.
No, just a couple.
Yeah.
Just a couple.
Yeah.
So, in my recent lifetime.
All right, because we're talking about sweaty.
Yeah, don't do that. Not on air. We're not ready for that. Because I'll definitely get an inbox. What she say? Y'all be tripping. So We're not gonna trip that hard on the show today.
But y'all really tripping right now.
Why?
Okay, I need y'all to come into this room.
What's happening?
Is it the rain? Are y'all asleep? What's happening?
Right,
Actually,
what's
there should
going
be
on?
more people because it's kind of dreary days. So I know y'all took off
that's
of
true.
work. So y'all need to be logging in. I need y'all to like, comment, and share right now. Right now. It's okay. Let me go ahead and invite
who we
some
calling
folks up
out?
in
Yeah,
here.
we definitely need you to like,
comment,
and share
that thing
right now.
Come on. I need some of my regulars up in here. Where's Gardis? Where's Nakima? Where's Mary? Where's Remy? Where's Brian? You know what I'm saying? Where is Tiger Lily?
Maganiel, where you at?
Shaka? Where's Kobe and Crystal and Dion?
It's only 1:10 though. You know when it's raining, sometimes you just move a little
We
behind
sleepy?
pace.
Well, they real behind.
Oh, they
today.
real behind. It's okay.
They're
We're
real
gonna keep
behind.
going. We're gonna keep going because they
Absolutely.
faithful.
Absolutely.
They're faithful.
I
So
just wanna give them a wake up call. That's all.
Kanye West,
Kanye West,
Six-
my birthday twin.
$6
I'm telling y'all,
billion.
you can't be that crazy and worth $6 billion, right?
How you feel about that, Ron? How you feel about Kanye and that $6 billion?
The richest black man ever.
Come on.
Well, now I read the article in full.
In American history, right?
He's behind one other black man that's
Oh.
estimated at about $7 billion.
We
And I
talk-
can't remember his name because he
like
not out there.
somebody
so-
living.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because they're promoting this right now as Kanye being the richest. So,
I got it. I read 2 articles on it. And in
Okay.
one article, there is one guy that's like
I hate when they do stuff like that, man.
Yeah, like the information or what? The misinformation?
The misinformation like that, like, cause then we have to do our research on these other people, cause there's another black guy, and why are we just now knowing who that guy is?
Because this guy is he don't want to be in the news. You know what I mean? It's like finding out the richest. I mean,
That's
the
real.
richest
Some
white
people,
people are
some
not
people
in it.
don't
Some
want
people
them
like
to know. Because I don't need. You know what ends up happening? Hands.
Everybody calling, and and the guy that's not in the news,
get back.
He probably don't even want his cousins to know.
Right, you get that right.
He probably drive a Ford pickup.
But is he in there really because he don't want to know, or is he in there really because they don't want to give him the spotlight?
I mean, that can happen either way.
Because like with the Rosa, I know this is kind of old and outdated, but
Okay.
even with the Rosa Parks thing, I always thought
She was the first one?
Yeah, and
She
then when
wasn't.
I found out she wasn't the first one. I'm like, why?
The first
Why?
one that what?
Refused to.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, y'all know Rosa
do they
Parks
do this
though.
narrative?
She was
That was a
positioned.
part of strategy.
Yeah.
To kick off.
That was a
that
part of the
bus
whole
boycott. That was
yeah.
strategy.
And everybody, what was that? The SCLC and
SNCC,
King,
right.
yeah, they or SNCC, like
Right.
they all like they manufactured that. I mean,
Right.
she dope for doing it, but it was like, and maybe they were influenced by the first sister that did it.
But and that's what I mean. Do they manufacture these things all the time?
Well, anybody, yeah, if it's in the media, it's been put together.
Yeah, think about it.
So
So
you
when
gotta have
you,
a loud. So like, if you're not intentionally putting out a loud voice, then things could be overlooked.
I mean, think about it. It's like it was either last year when they did the march on the Dan Ryan, right? It's set up. You know who's getting ready to march. You know who's going down. You know who the players are going to be, right? And then there may be some play into that, like who gets interviewed. Is Jesse Jackson going to show up? Blah blah blah. But Father Flager. Like there are certain times when organizations strategically put things out in order to move a message or to move the agenda forward. And that's kind of what it was with Rosa Parks. But these things had been done before, right? But I mean, I guess that's all I can say about that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Well,
but shout out to Kanye.
Shout out to Kanye, and then let's put
We'll
it out
find
there.
out- we'll find out when we go on the break.
Who's the other guy? That's the other
I don't know.
richest?
Sadiq
I read the article. I'll look it up.
Look it up, but
yeah.
we can say, but I don't. Still, they're not beating the richest man in history,
Oh, now who is that?
Mansa Musa of Mali,
Oh yeah.
who is
Come on.
estimated this day value at $400 billion.
Oh yeah.
Way back in 1280, he was
Easy.
born in 1280.
First of all, it's gonna be hard to beat anybody in Africa, South America at any point because you sitting on
That was
thrones
he was
of
throwing
gold.
away gold. Like he
Right.
was literally giving away gold.
Well, did you know that diamonds were only considered a gem in modern history? So when you read ancient, diamonds was just a clear rock.
Wow.
And
it's all about
to
who
the
puts
power
the value on
of
something.
right, exactly. This value now that's placed on a diamond, but it doesn't carry that weight in history.
Yeah, me, you, and Elamai, Brother King was talking about that last week in the car in regards to value. You know, because my biggest thing is, why is gold so valuable? Right? Because like it's very malleable. Beside it being pretty, I actually value copper more valuable than gold because it has more utility to it. Like if it boils down and we get to an apocalyptic state, I don't care about your gold, bro, because I need things to make sure I can cook food for our people as we're traveling through this earth, trying to find the best place to stay.
More valuable than gold, silver, and diamonds and all of that?
What?
A seed.
You got that damn for sure.
Because you cannot eat gold,
and I want to make sure we got
any of that.
An organic one that ain't got that bull up in it.
Seed is more valuable than all of that. But that's we live in a conceptualized world. But even beyond materialism, right? It's this whole idea about money as opposed to reciprocity and needs.
Right. And resources.
Because even with Kanye,
resources directly.
Even with Kanye and the $6 billion, I think I asked this question on the show. It's a question I've been asking myself, right? What's the point of being a billionaire? And the reason I asked that question to myself is I am dealing with the concept of wealth in this dispensation of time really being defined by the hoarding of resources. If you say somebody is wealthy, that really means they're hoarding resources. Because we're all born wealthy technically, or we talk about the true values in a seed as opposed to gold that you can't eat, right? So true value is different from, to me today, what is considered wealthy. I think that's just basically how many resources you hoard is basically, I got 3 cars, 2 houses, I got something in the French Riviera, I got this money in my bank account, but what's the point?
Yeah.
I mean, and it's rhetorical. We don't have to answer.
You can't take it to the grave with you.
Well, not only that, but
I know you transferring that wealth. What are you doing with your wealth? Right? Are you because I don't want to live in a world where I got to look over my back, my shoulder, because I got everything and everybody else is looking at me like I want what you got. No. I want to be, my wealthy means that I'm doing well and my neighbors are doing well too. And of course, my family. So now we can all be out here, get it, live. We can have our barbecues and trip out and leave our doors unlocked, and our kids can go outside without having to worry because everybody is good and everybody's looking out for each other.
That's wealth.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah, me too.
To me, but as defined today, I really take it as how many resources am I hoarding in my account, in my house, in my, and then because past $1 billion, what are you doing?
There's got to be something going. Okay, all right. I see.
What happened?
YouTube is kicking it off right
here. Hey, what's up, YouTube? Right. What's going on?
Danielle is on YouTube with us right now. We see Kemet here. He said, "How the hell does Kanye make money? I'm so out of touch." Oh my God. Well, he just did that huge gospel album.
Well, not only that, he's got his deal. So, reading the article. He cut the deal with Adidas or shoe company
for his shoes.
But part of his estimated wealth, the Yeezys, part of his estimated wealth now is the clothing line he's doing with the Gap. And they estimate the next 2 years that clothing line in itself will be a $1 billion brand.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so his net revenues and his
Did they mention any investments that he has?
No, there's just
because I know that.
I didn't finish the article.
Okay.
But it just talked about his estimated $6 billion, his net worth, and then it talked about the shoes, and it talked about the clothing brand. What?
Right. Kemet says, "I'm 100 air, and I don't want my cousins to know."
Who said that?
Kemet. He's watching us. He's watching from YouTube.
No, you don't. You don't want anybody to know. But since you brought it out on YouTube, holler at us after the show.
Right.
Well,
what's happening with Facebook right now, y'all? This is real funny. I'm used to seeing a lot of you guys here. What's going on? I'm a little confused.
I don't know. What do you see?
Yeah, it's like.
Well, we'll fix it after the break. We're gonna fix it. We're gonna fix it at the break. Something's going on. Are we on?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. No doubt.
I mean, we got to like.
Ron is something else. We might have said something. I think COINTELPRO was at work. They didn't block the people from coming to the show.
See, they know about y'all trying to do that check over there in the Royal House.
Oh, in the Royal House.
Hey, it's interesting that you brought it up. No lie, but it's right here on my sheet to get to. I'm still trying to find racism in the palace. Ron, did you find any racism in the palace?
That's the most unracist place on the planet.
The most. I mean, like when you talk about just being fair, balanced, and understanding what it is that melanated people need to thrive, the first place I can think of is Buckingham Palace.
What up, Miranda? Definitely.
I mean,
definitely Buckingham Palace.
Definitely Buckingham Palace. They are like the least racist people on the entire planet. You know, according to sources, you know, in there, they're just a very balanced people, and I'm kind of feeling that. You know, I'm kind of feeling that. You feeling that, Cassie?
You're funny. Shout out to Miko Monroe earlier for holding it down.
Hey,
for
Miko,
parenting
in the pandemic.
Tenille, I'm super excited to see her because Miko went to Beasley.
She's a Beasley B.
So we all went to Beasley.
And I'm a Beasley OG.
There you go. Because me and her were there together. I think she's a year older than me.
So what happened?
I didn't see Sadiq.
What? No, she didn't. She didn't see me at Beasley because when the crane was like, ooh, 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 and they like put the Beasley over the door, they were like, "You can go in now." I'm a Beasley OG. Like Cassie was somewhere else.
Now I could have been there at the same time as you.
You
but
could have overlapped.
I transferred though, so I didn't go to Beasley the whole time. I started there in 4th grade.
Okay.
So at that point, I was 9. You was 19. Yeah, you better have been out of Beasley.
Yeah, because if I was 19 walking through the halls of Beasley, it would have been. They'd have been like,
I'd have been like, Miss McLemore.
You got to get out of here, son.
The gold jury.
You got to get out of here. She was doing it. Miss McLemore was doing it.
Shine in your eyes. You can't see that this old ass man is.
Like he shouldn't be here at all.
Oh man.
At all. So no racism in the palace. So okay. Did you all know this? Just put this in the comments. Did you all know that Ron, you got to hear this. The United...
I've heard it 5 times already.
Oh, you heard it 5 times? Okay. The United Negro College Fund elected its first black board chairperson.
Yeah. It's been ran by Jews, right? I'm not... Wait. No, I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about the NAACP. Whoa, wait. The UNCF?
Just elected its first black board chair in 77
White
years.
folks be like, gee, we get it, all these coins. We're going to get some to y'all too, but so
now we're talking about Evanston.
Our hand in everything.
We talking about Evanston and the not-for-profit that is exchanging funds is run by non-melanated individuals, and so is the UNCF.
I wouldn't say completely ran back. They say the board is half and half.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The important half is ran.
Just the chair.
I bet you the treasurer.
Just the chair.
I bet you the treasurer. I bet you on that white half, the treasurer's been the white person.
But I mean, we can look into it. I'm really feeling being
where
fair
the money
and balanced.
reside. Where the money reside.
I'm really feeling being fair and balanced. I just want to look into it.
I mean, we can definitely look into it.
Yeah, let's look into it.
Let me get my Google.
I understand that one of the first presidents was John Rockefeller.
Woo! Golly.
Helping little Negroes go to college.
Tisk.
How you feel about that?
You know, if he's funding it, you know it was some cruel intent behind, or some other intentions behind it.
To get y'all money.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Stop. Because I'm really trying to change my life. Are you saying that you think that if European people in charge, that they have an agenda that does not support black people?
Yeah, you being an asshole.
No, I'm just asking.
It's shocking. That's
I'm
shocking,
asking,
right?
No, I mean, because if you come out on the other end, you know what I mean? Like, people are like, you're, what do they call it? What's the word I'm looking for, Ron? What Cassie, what I'm looking for?
You come out on the other end.
Yeah, like you're super pro-black, or what's it called?
Militant?
Like, you're militant. And I'm striving in my life right now to be fair and balanced. And so perhaps John Rockefeller and these other European men really had something good in store for black people.
Let me tell you. Can I read off the board of directors?
Please.
I ain't got to read off. It's a lot of them. It's a lot of board. Then they got institutional directors. It's a lot of them. Most of those people, all of those people are black.
Go ahead, read it
But
out.
let's see. 1, 2, 6, 10, 14, 18 directors at large.
Okay.
Okay. Out of those 18, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, literally half are white. And the board of directors includes people from Procter & Gamble, J.P. Morgan Chase, Walmart. At least that's a black guy. Oh, the president of AKA is on here. Citigroup, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Sodexo, Exxon, General Motors.
Come on with it.
2 people from General Motors, both of them black people.
Okay.
And then Booz Allen Hamilton, whatever that is. That's the white guy with the bald head on it.
Okay.
I am just looking for the treasurer. I want to know which one of them is the treasurer of their board of directors.
So
it might not go that way. They might not have the treasurer inside of that, but I want to know.
Hey,
who runs
shout
the
out
money?
Shout out to the United Negro College Fund for getting a black board chair. I think that is so hot in 2020.
But I can't tell. I mean, would the board chair automatically the first person that is listed? Because they don't have like their positions underneath their name.
Yeah, but if you just Google UNCF board chair, it's gonna come.
Okay,
up.
it's the first guy.
It's the first
Milton H. Jones Jr.
Shout out Milt.
And he
Can I say that Milt? He probably meant it's like it's Milton, sir.
He represents Peachtree Providence Partners.
Yeah, Milt. He got some. He's a solid guy. They got his bio up in the article. Big Milt. He's a solid guy.
Where the money reside? What I'm looking for, anything that got something to do with money. Right now, I'm just saying they're just saying that they're board of directors.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, we'd have to do some research on that. I'm sure they're going to
hide that.
I mean, they ain't gotta hide it. They didn't hide anyway. I'm just saying, 77 years, and we finally get a black board chair, and and I'm just gonna say to my discredit. I mean, I had no idea that the board had only had white presidents.
Now listen, so
and does it even matter?
Tripping on these big corps being a part of their board of directors. That's how they get their money,
right?
That's how you can get the companies to then donate, blah 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 blah. That's fine, but y'all telling me out of all these companies, ain't no black people that work for Procter and Gamble and J.P. Morgan Chase and Sodexo and Exxon that could have been a representative?
Here's the problem in my more balanced self. Does color really matter?
I mean,
can't the white people on the board really want to help black children? And so, therefore, do I need to be black to be on the board?
We just want your money. Actually, we want our money to come back that y'all stole. So go ahead, filter it through your company.
Got all of that, but can I be a conscious European and be on the board and just want to help these black people go to school?
You don't want real answers.
No. I mean, I'm trying not to be I'm trying to add balance to the conversation. Ryan, you feel me? That's a real question though. Can I be
in theory?
Okay, not in theory. I'm sure that shout out to the Europeans on the UNCF board.
Whoa.
No, for real talk. I think they believe that they're putting in good work to help these young black men and women who have benefited from the United Negro College Fund. That name is outdated, by the way, you all. Let's do a study on
Definitely.
that.
You don't think they would be more helpful by not being on the board? You don't think they should be thinking in their head like maybe I shouldn't be putting my hand in the pot?
But let's be honest though, prior to this article and has it really been an issue though? They've been operating for 77 years, and now that they want to trumpet that they have a black president, I mean, it hasn't really been an issue, has it?
I mean, we weren't even paying attention.
Exactly. That's my whole point. So, shout out to to the half cream, half chocolate board.
Because in your head, you don't even think that it wouldn't be. That's the issue.
Yeah, and I was saying that yesterday. Whenever I've heard the term or the acronym, the first faces that come to my head is Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson.
All their money.
Really?
They keep all their money. Don't do that.
It's just the face though. Just when you think about the faces comes about.
You don't think of John Rockefeller when the United Negro College Fund?
What?
Cassie, how about this?
Yeah.
Why don't me and you just hop on the Jewish fund board?
We should.
Let's do that.
As we should.
So this is what we got to do. We're going to go to break, but me and Cassie, we still trying to find racism in the palace. We need an invite because we want to walk through the halls. I think it's a very balanced situation. I'm going to be honest.
Find a company ran by Jews on this break, and let's
get on the board. Ron, I think you need to be on the board too.
Let's just see if we can find a black person on their boards to begin with.
Trust me now, it's going to be a black person on the board. It's going to be one.
You going to talk just like that?
I'm not casting any dispersions, but what I'm saying is they need me, you, and Cassie on the board. We need to go get lit on the board. Just come in there with a little Alizé and some night train. No, I'm teasing. Look, you all, we're going to have an awesome conversation with a homegrown Chicago sister today, Miss Dina Dean. She is a poet, a writer, and she's a lightweight. She's like, I consider her to be, I don't want to call her an activist because I don't want to mislabel what people do, but she's definitely on the front lines in terms of issues through her art. And I think that's the way I'll put it. She tackles issues through her art.
Absolutely.
She's a dynamic sister. So listen, we need you to like,
comment,
and share.
That thing.
Join us at the lunch table. We'll be on with Miss Dina Dean when we get back. See you on the other side.
WIFTBPM.
Jackson.
If you could make up a social media holiday, what would it be?
Randy said National Don't Let No One Put You Down Day.
No one. What you gonna do? So when they say something crazy, you slap them?
Be like me said. Randy said a Jukathon Day.
Man, we're about 60 years old. I be done had a heart attack.
You gotta get your heart rate up.
Okay, not that far.
All right, Mario said my favorite one. My friends and I do what we call National Call Off from Work Day.
As a business owner, I don't.
You don't like that, yeah?
I don't like that.
Because I'm the boss of this thing.
We got Marcus Garvey Day from Remy too.
Oh, Marcus Garvey Day. All right, what will we do on Marcus Garvey Day?
Call off from work.
I'm going to need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. That would be great. Okay?
Yeah, right. Every black holiday has something to do with calling off from work.
You're cool. I'm out.
About National Join a Positive Black Organization Day? Because I don't want to be recruiting. I don't want to be recruiting and the brothers be like, thank you. Thank you. How about National Tell White People the Truth Day? Tell them how you really feel.
You can't handle the truth.
Why don't we call that National Black People Get Locked Up Day?
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Hello.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
Steve Stone did it.
What's the deal? I need to know. Are we going too fast? Are we going too slow? There ain't nothing more. Why don't you come over so we can explore now? See, I
Let's chill. Anything wrong, I can make it all right. Let me make it all right. And every time I see you coming, girl, you turn me on. Always looking so good, got me wishing I could. With that body like perfection, baby, you can do no wrong. And all damn day, I can't stop thinking about it. See, I wanna get to know you more tonight. And our body should be real close tonight. Yeah, you can say it. And since we both know the club is played out, baby, let me invite you to my house tonight. Let me make things right. Let me spend the night. Anything wrong, I can make it all right. I can make it all right tonight. Baby, let's start tonight. Netflix and chill. Spend the night. I wanna chill. I can make it all right. Whoa, let's start. I got the popcorn and the wine. Strawberries and chocolate on the side. Got the fireplace burning real nice. Me and you tangled up in these blankets on the sky. Say it again. I got the popcorn and the wine. Strawberries and chocolate on the side. Got the fireplace burning real nice. Me and you tangled up in these Netflix and chill. I wanna chill with you. I can make it all right. Let me, baby. Baby, let me make it. Netflix and chill. Baby, let me make it. Anything wrong, I can make it all right. I know I can. Baby, let me make it all right. I just wanna rub you down. See, I just wanna make everything right for you. So baby, let me love you, and baby, let me sex you all night, yeah, all night, all night.
Yeah, welcome back, Chicago. Who is that, Ron?
That was Steve Stone Huff.
Oh, Steve Stone Huff. That's what I'm talking about. Chicago tune. So we are in here. Welcome back to the green side of things. It's your man Sadiq.
And Cassiopeia.
And we have our sister who is a writer. She is a poet. She is an author. She's all of that. And on the front lines, as she would describe it, for the sisterhood, Miss Dina Dean is in with us today. Are you there, my sister?
You there, Dina? Can you hear us?
I can hear you, yeah. Can y'all hear me?
Hey! We can hear you now. What's happening?
What's going on? I'm sitting here with my puppy.
I got you. Said sitting there with what?
My puppy.
Okay, all right. That's all good. I love it. So I'm excited about this interview today. And I was telling Cassie on the way over here that it's at least been, man, I think I don't want to just call out numbers, but it's close to 20 years ago when I first met you. And it's through Sharon Celeste. Like, she just shout out. She's a super poet, and same thing, for the sisterhood. You guys really look out and express, I think, what needs to be said. Like, I call it activism through your art.
Come on.
Right?
Yeah.
And
that's
yeah.
exactly what we try to do, yeah.
Yeah, activism through your art. So I really love it, and I've been a fan for the last 20 years. Appreciate what it is you do, and just want to unravel this conversation with you and Cassie. So I have a question, but I want you to introduce yourself to the audience and tell them a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I'm Dina Dean, Chicago, born and raised. I've been writing forever, but I've only been performing for about 20 years. When you met me, I recently published novels. I'm currently
Hey.
writing my fourth novel. They're all available on Amazon, and they are getting 5-star reviews. Check
Oh,
me out.
wow.
Check me out. I don't know. I'm a mom. That's the puppy. You see it? Move. Sit down. I'm a puppy mom too. But I got
Okay,
two grown
okay.
kids. I got 2 grown kids, and you know, I just like being here for the people.
Okay, I love it. I love it. The mom, the whole activist through art, a writer. You have novels that are on Amazon. I think it's all like, it just speaks volumes about these gems, these black women that we have amongst us who are really, shaking and moving. Because to me, that's shaking and moving. So I just want to let you know, much love and appreciation. But I got a question for you and Cassie. And this comes from, obviously, there's some things that I read. I love your blend of humor, sarcasm, wit, right? Because it takes intelligence to do what you do. But I think you also, you hit some tough spots. So I want to start out with this. I'm going to ask Cassie because I don't want to put pressure on you, Dina. Because I know even when I put it in the post, a black man full of SHIT, right? And you was like, I'm not even going to talk about that, right? You were like, yeah, right. But my question to Cassie is, and then Dina, you can jump in. What's a hotep nigga? Because it's a stereotype, but yes.
A hotep Negro is, y'all remember Different World, right?
Yeah.
And I think this is the original hotep Negro.
Okay, go ahead.
Shaza Zulu.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he the original. He
was.
He is spiritual under the act of coming to you with the community in mind. Sister girl, I love you because the stars align and you are a queen type of brother. But yet he can talk all this good game, but he gonna pilt you for money. He's still out here hoeing.
He gonna what?
He gonna eat pork.
He's gonna slick. Yup, he gonna be eating up some pork or whatever. I mean, now listen, hotep don't necessarily mean that you pork free. That might be Muslim, but some of them end up becoming vegans or vegetarians or whatever. But the thing is that he talks all this good game, but he not on nothing. He's still out here like a regular ass, playing ass Negro off the block, but now he think because he got some locks and an incense and a dashiki that it make him better than other people. And the all Connie.
So Dina, do you agree? Yeah, we want to hear now. Talk to us about it. I wanted to take the pressure off you first and let Cassie go on in there.
Roasting no tep is my favorite thing to do. No tep because Mama Carol Adams told me not to. I got in trouble, so I can't.
That's real.
So I say no tap or slow tap or something like that.
I love that.
Got it.
I love that. We got that.
Everything is. They have so much to say about everything, but they can never give you an answer. You be like, well, what you try? And it'll be everything else in the world. Like, no, I just asked you a simple question. When you say they, who is they? They never can tell you who they is.
Like they in terms of
off of YouTube. They don't read books, and all they call got blue splatters on them.
And then they caught hold of polyamory or polygyny, and they think because they cheating on you, and you catch them, then they be like, sister, I'm out here. I have so much love to give, and it would be an abomination if I only kept it to just you, sis. Right. You be like, Negro, you don't know nothing about what this life really means. What'd you say?
Have you ever tried it?
Have I tried yeah.
A polyamorous relationship?
Oh, a polyamorous? No, I haven't.
Me either.
Okay.
I'll be fighting everybody.
You be scrapping.
I'll be fighting everybody gonna get these hands. What?
Hey, everybody catch your hands, huh?
I am not advanced or spiritual enough to do all that. You better cheat on me, and you better keep it a secret.
I got it.
You better hide your hoes. No.
You don't. Now, see, I know people I know, real marriages. I know people who do this, authentically and correctly, and that's dope, and that's how it's supposed to be. I remember this. Y'all know Chief Nomo off of 83rd, and he has he sells the water and stuff off of 83rd near Colfax, and he got that weird he got
Stop.
It's like a doll in a wheelchair that's outside of the building, and it got a red, black, and green flag. It's actually very genius of marketing, but it works, and they out there getting their money. But he was talking to us one time and talking about how he took a trip over to the continent, and that he's been, deemed a chief over I think in Ghana, in a city in Ghana.
Okay.
And he talks about how the chief there has, several wives and everything. And he talks more about it and says, this ain't about him and trying to get over on all of these women. This is about community. It's about, us making sure that we're sharing our wealth, and that we got a doctor in our family, we got a lawyer in our family, we got this and that, and accountant. And he said actually the women decided that they wanted another wife. He was like, I'm good. Right, I know. And they were like, no, because at the time they actually didn't have a lawyer. They needed a lawyer so that they can, so that he can. But actually, it was about them taking on this woman who had lost her husband, and it was her and her son, but she was a lawyer, and they had lots of businesses, and she would be there to help protect their businesses if it came down to any type of legalities. So they wanted it. But other than that, though, that's why when people be out here talking about something, they trying to be
because it's two different cultures. It's two different. It's an understanding. It's like the whole point of wealth, and we were talking about. You understand what wealth really is.
They want to be out here being some trifling ass hoes. There go my second one. I don't know if hoes count, but anywho,
we'll count it.
Yes, it counts.
You're right. Thank you, Ryan. We'll count it.
I feel hoe is like now accepted by
2.5. Is it really?
But they want to be some trifling ass hoes out here, so that's 3 for me, maybe 4.5.
That's 4.
I got one more for this hour, and then say it's under the act of polygamy, and that blows me.
My thing is that they still a cheat though, like. It'll still be somebody in secret. Like, you openly have this many wives, and you still be somewhere sneaking around with somebody else.
Listen, that's just greed.
Yeah, that's again back to
not everybody.
Right. No doubt.
No taps.
No taps. We're gonna call it no taps. So we won't.
No taps because that's disrespectful. That's what Mama Carol told me. So
because hotep means.
Right. Peace. Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So Dana, let me ask you this. In the time that you have been writing and performing and kind of tackling these issues in 2020, have brothers and sisters, are we leveling up in your honest opinion? Are we doing better? And I said brothers and sisters because to me it's a two-way street. It's not just you know what I mean? I don't want black men to feel attacked and black, that's not what we're here to do. But Are we leveling up? Are we getting better? Are we addressing our trauma?
I'm laughing at Baba Mila.
What did he say?
Because he just repeated what I said. It would be an abomination not to share my love.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Go ahead,
Dana, are we leveling up?
I think that we're getting more comfortable with discussing our trauma and trying to heal from it. I think that more brothers and sisters are going to therapy and trying to heal and speaking about the stuff that we need healing from.
Yeah.
So I think we're doing a little bit better.
Okay.
I hate like, remember when those people like committed suicide? I mean, well, they said it was suicide. A couple of people they hanged themselves, and people were saying that black people don't do that, and black people do that. Like, like my child's father hanged himself.
Wow.
From a tree.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
From a tree. Yeah. The same as them. Now, I mean, you can say that it's too many, or you can say that I don't believe it, but don't say that black people don't do it. Black people do everything. People are always saying black people don't do it. All of it. We do all of it.
I can appreciate that. So if you had to, I know there are definitely issues that are top of the mind and trauma that you speak to. what would you list as three, or two or three? What do you see as the top issues that you address or that you bring out or that you highlight through your art that we need to work on or that you see us working on? What would be, the top two or three?
Well, definitely corporal punishment.
Okay.
Like beating on these kids like they slaves.
Okay.
I don't know.
Corporal punishment.
Trying to help, being transparent.
Okay.
What I do? I do some different. Because everything that we have to admit that everything that our parents did wasn't right. Like even if it was right for them then, it's not right now. Like we're evolving. I don't know. I talk about so much.
I know you do. So let's put a pin in it right there. Let's hang our hat on corporal punishment.
Okay.
Right. And I really kind of vibe with you on this one. And I vibe on it because I actually did a speaking engagement maybe 4 years ago. And I just submitted this to the audience and I got like huge amounts of blowback. And what I had to do, so I grew up in the 70s, right? I'm not going to age myself. Right. But
I know
Cassie over here laughing at me. But I was one of the kids that had to go get their own Switch.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
right? Like go and I'm like, go get my own Switch. Like it's a mind game for real.
Yeah, it is.
But right, the extension cord, go get your own Switch. I've had shoes, like the whatever you want to talk about, the like black kids growing up and the whoopings, right? Okay, hands up, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
But when I did this engagement 4 years ago and I was just doing introspection, I was like, you know what, man? We are or have been so abused as a people, right? Because we always talk about how white people don't beat their kids, but white people wasn't slaves either.
They wasn't.
And so the point, it started to become clear to me, like maybe we beat our kids because we were just beat, right? And the way that you instill order, right? Because you can watch Roots and like lightweight, if you watch Roots, I'm like, shit, I've been on the tree.
It looks the same.
Like, I'm like, but we take pride in it. Like, black people, and we whoop, you got to whoop your kids.
You don't whoop your kids.
But who said that whooping kids, right? Because even when you go to the, to what I call the Hebrew scriptures, right? Where it says spoil the rod, spare the child, right? The rod is the law. It's not a whooping.
It's not a physical
It's not
rod.
a physical, right? It's not a rod. The rod means, instructions, right? So if you don't give the proper instructions to your child, right, then, that type of thing. So where did this idea come from that we have to beat our children?
Yeah.
And so I actually positioned that in the talk I was doing, and man, did I get some blowback. And I'm looking at people in the audience who was like, yeah, man, you got to beat their kids. And then I know some of their kids, and I'm like, see, the whooping didn't help.
Yeah.
Like straight up.
Oh yeah, they still bad. Yeah.
And then they be saying, I turned out fine. No, you didn't. You mad as fuck. Look at you. You should see you.
Yeah.
You're not okay.
Yeah.
You're not okay. You're angry. You can't accept somebody
Yeah.
not agreeing with you. You want to fight all the time. You mad. You're not okay. And don't we want our children to be a little bit more than okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
I spanked my kids. I did. And I regret it. And right now, they'll be like, Mom, please. I'm like, but I regret it. I'm sorry. I wish I had never did that. I wish that I had some type of parental classes, because I was young. I had my daughter when I was 16. I had my son when I was 20.
Okay.
So it was a lot that I didn't know. I wish I had took some parenting classes. I wish that somebody would have taught me something different. I just did what I knew to do. And now I look back, I'm like, oh my God, I hit my kids. Like, I wish I had never done that. Because you're big and they're little and you're trying to hurt them. And that's the truth. And people don't want to admit that, it's not abuse. Okay, well, I was abused. I mean, y'all could be in love with y'all whoopings. I'm still mad. I'm still mad. I didn't need none of them whoopings. None of them. I was smart. it was so many other things you could do with my kids besides beating on them.
Yeah.
So many things. So,
Yeah.
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 But black people are they still in love with beating on their kids.
Yeah, I know.
That's
Dre,
why people fight that forever.
but that's it. That's what we all we know is they're now fighting, and like you said, this anger. So Dre went to Nigeria a few years ago, and he was in a small town outside of Lagos. And I remember he said when he first got there, he was like, these kids was just running and looking like what we would call some badass little kids, right? And
wow.
He said they just out here wild, just running. You know, we're so used to having all of these boundaries put on us. Sit down, be quiet. For what? They got the space to run. They got the space to be free. They said some stuff that he felt was a little out of pocket to their parents, but their parents ain't really tripping. They're not hurting anything. They're not harming anything. The lifestyle ain't messed up. They just being kids, he said. And it's like, and they grow up real easy.
But I can see
balanced.
that it reminds me of it. What it reminds me of is the slave condition.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Be quiet. Hush up. Don't talk back.
Right.
Like you could literally say these. You could see these same parental statements as slave master to slave statements.
Yeah.
Right. But not only that. Hurt people.
Absolutely.
And so if
that's
you don't,
you know.
Yeah, that's all you know, right? So it's taught and it's learned, and you assume that this is the way I should discipline my child because this is the way I discipline. Yet I can assure you for myself, my character, who I am today, have very little to do with a beating.
Right.
Right. I didn't get smarter because I got a whooping. I didn't, and quite frankly, I mean, you really can talk to your kids. Kids are a lot more amenable. They are now. If you got some whatever the case is, I can assure you that if your child is whatever wilding out, beating them has not slowed down any crime. It has not slowed down any murders.
I used to go to school to fight.
That's what you ready to fight. You ready to fight?
So I used to fight all the time.
Mm-hmm. Because you're used to these hands. Getting hit, you're not afraid of getting hit, and you're not afraid of hitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
The only thing I learned from violence was violence.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Violence beget, but we live in a violent society. I think that it literally boils down to the fact that solutions. I mean, when you get to even at the top level, when you get to spending hundreds of billions of dollars on military, right, or how even issues are solved in the world, right? We're gonna go to war and all of these types of things. Basically, boils down to if you don't do what I want you to do, right, I'm going to beat you or I'm going to try to physically impose my way on you somehow. And it's like even two says, right, well, can you whoop my ass, right? It comes back to this whole violence piece.
Yeah, and then it actually just transpires into what we don't want to happen is the pipeline to prison, complex with school. So now you have this fear of everybody that has some type of threat over you. There's no power inside of you anymore. Boosie says, this is such a tough topic for me. You do what you know and do what you think has worked for you, but don't know the impact. And then she has like some crying faces after that. She was like, then she says the impact of screaming is just as impactful as whoopings. But which
I would agree with that.
I agree. But I've actually even, now with my children, I actually try to stop screaming. Because a lot of times when I'm screaming at them, it's to tell them to stop screaming. And that doesn't make sense at that point. You need to be quiet.
Right.
Not everybody's yelling. So actually, I try to maintain as much calm, as much balance, as ease as possible, so that I hope that that's what they mimic.
Right.
Like, okay, let me cool. I'll be like, hey, you're screaming. So you're gonna need to stop, and here's gonna be a consequence if you don't.
Let's do this. We got to go to break. Let's come back. I want to continue this conversation because I think it is a big conflict in the Black community. And when I say not a huge conflict, because there's some people like, I'm whooping that ass, right? Like it's a value thing. I think that's how you raise children. But there are some people, including myself, who I used to feel. I was like, man, this is the way, I mean, this is valuable. I turned out great, like, or whatever. And and then I was like, you know what? Wait a minute. I don't think so. And I think there are people that are beginning to question it. And I appreciate you being self-reflective, Dina, and bringing the conversation to the forefront.
Just some shout outs.
Go
Shout
ahead.
out to Derek. Shout out to Imani. Shout out to Baba Faba Mila, Janessa. Thank y'all for tuning in. Keep sharing and liking, guys.
Yeah. So like, share, let's comment, and we want to bring some more people back with us on the other side of this break. We're going to continue the conversation on corporal punishment. We're talking to Dina Dean. She is an activist through her art. She is definitely a talented sister. She's been laying it down in Chicago for decades. It's Sadiq
and Cassiopeia.
We'll see you on the other side.
WIFTBPM. My name is Cassandra J. Matz, current Village of Olympia Fields trustee and your candidate for Village President of Olympia Fields. I've been a resident of Olympia Fields for 28 years. I believe in building strategic partnerships, establishing governance boundaries, and have and will continue to dedicate my life's work as a respected and credible voice when it comes to decision making. Olympia Fields has always been a community of familiarity and comfort, and I want to make sure the village stays that way. On Tuesday, April 6th, vote Cassandra J. Matz for your Olympia Fields Village President. Paid for by Citizens for Cassandra J. Matz.
When you got to Kennedy King, so you remember Corey Brown?
I definitely remember Corey Brown from Morgan Park.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Murder, man. So I got it in with y'all one day before a game, and then y'all literally went out and destroyed some people by about 50 at Kennedy King, and I'll never forget, somebody shot a jumper. It came off long. And Corey will tell this story to this day. He says he went up, and I was in the stands. He went up for the rebound, and before he could jump, he said he felt a foot on his head. And it was you. And you caught it. Classic P-Mac, catching it over everybody, putting it back in. He says before he jumped, he felt a foot on his head. And Corey was 6'4", easy.
On his head.
On his head.
Yeah, Corey was 6'4", man. I used to just, I don't know, I had a knack, man. I was always uber athletic. Like I was taught earlier, if somebody shoot, you got to come from the opposite side. I had a guy in my neighborhood named Wayne Irvin, legendary dude to us in our neighborhood. Played at Chicago State, played at Wyoming.
Okay.
Played against Patrick Ewing. He passed away a couple years ago, but went to CVS. He was a decorated player. A lot of people knew him. And he taught me early, like, you attack offensive rebounds from the opposite side. So if somebody shoot from the left wing, you crash from the right. If somebody shoot from the top of the key, you can crash because it can go either way and you can get it. I was so big and athletic. I used to get a lot of tip dunks. Like, for some reason, people never boxed me out. And once I got a running start, if it came off anywhere over the rim and bounced up, you was dead.
This is Eugene McIntosh, one half of the illest independent sports media outlet in the whole entire land, the Bigs. Check me and my player partner Terrence Tomlin, a.k.a. T-Tom the Great, out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Sissy's Taco Bar Pop-Up is back with more hours and more days. Check them out at their new pop-up location at The Woodlawn, located 1200 East 79th Street. Sissy's Taco Bar offers authentic street tacos infused with international soul. Now every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at The Woodlawn from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. New vegan tacos have been added to the menu too. Visit sissytacobar.com for more info.
You'll never regret. And you, with your pretty brown eyes, I knew, baby, you would change my life. And you opened up my eyes to see I'm excited for our future, but I love our history.
Talking Isley Brothers in between the sheets. And now we're taking flights from London to Belize. And we're popping bottles, endless shopping sprees. Still sexy as can be. I knew you're still the only one for me.
Welcome back. You're on the green side of things. It's your man Sadiq.
And Cassiopeia.
And we are talking to Dina Dean. She is a activist, poet, mother, right? And also she's got a, what type of dog you got, Dina? What type of dog is that?
Yeah, terrier, a pit mix.
I got it. I love it. So she's just, and she is a down sister, right? And part of our featuring all month of just awesome Black women on Chicago soil, because it's Black Women's History Month.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're out here with this sister. Yeah, absolutely, no doubt. And we were talking about corporal punishment, right? As we like to call it in Black land, beating your childrens.
Right.
Beating your kids.
In that,
whooped. And this, whoopings, right? And this assumption that this is the way, like, that's how Black people do it. It produces great results. And I'm just looking at the society and I'm like, does it really?
It's a small percentage.
You know what I mean? And then now, and I like the transparency, Dina, and I'm gonna throw it back to you. I like the transparency of saying, I did whoop my kids, right? But there's some regret there. I wish but I was doing what I thought I should do. So what I want to throw out is, though, what are effective parenting methods without whooping your children? Like, what type of thought does that require? What have you found, Dina?
Taking stuff away from them. I mean, they're addicted to all these electronic devices. Take them away. Have them
That's very true.
Have them write. Remember how we used to do write lines?
Yep.
Have them write, but make them write why they did what they did and why they did that, and what could have been a better way to do that, because that gets their brain going.
Yeah.
Because when you're beating them, all they're thinking is that this hurts.
Yeah.
And this person who loves me is hurting me. And who wants to put that in their mind?
Yeah.
That somebody can love you and hurt you.
Right.
And it's really a bad way to send your kids out into the world. It's a lot. These kids are smart. Like, they are. There's so many things you can do to them without hitting them. For real.
Yeah. My son has always been into money. Like, he's a little... people call him Mr. President. They've called him Doctor, all types of stuff when he was little, right? And I remember he was probably about 7. And, my best friend, Matoya, at the time, was still working in Chicago State. She was a director, and she used to just keep change on her desk. And so MJ, he took the change off of her desk. And I remember we got home, and I'm hearing all this change jangling in his pockets. And I'm like... I didn't get that change. Where you get that change from? I didn't give it to you. And so he was just like, he was sitting there like this, just looking. I said, you better tell me where you got that change from. And then he said, he called it TTA. I got it over TTA desk. Oh. So then what I had to do, right, instead of whooping him, I said, well, you're going to have to give it back. But you got to do 2 other things too. You're going to have to call her and let her know that you took it and apologize. And then you're not only going to give that change back. Now, again, I told you my son was really into money. So he already had money in his piggy bank, like hundreds of dollars in his piggy bank. And he had a ledger. So he knew how much it was. He kept up with it himself, right? So he was adding it, subtracting it. And so I told him, you're going to have to take the same amount of money that you took off of her desk out of your piggy bank. So not only are you going to give her money back, you're going to give her double that back out of your own money. He broke down.
Because he had to give up.
He had to give up his... That broke his whole soul. I ain't never have problems with him and taking money or taking anything after that again. Never. And he's 12 now. He don't touch other people's money.
That would work for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I gotta give hers back and some of mine. Gee.
Right.
Gee, I think I just might ask for the whooping.
I gave it.
Right, I gave her. She got her money. I gotta give us like you tripping.
And actually, to talk, you just said something that triggered me when you said I'd rather just take the whooping, right? Because he could keep his own money. Then it lets you know that they become numb to that. My best friend growing up, her father used to give her and her sister the option when they would fight and they would get in trouble. He said, "You can have either two things. You can either get on punishment or I can give you this whooping." What would they take?
The whooping, because they didn't want the punishment.
I had that option before,
So it just lets us know them whoopings usually don't, they either A, are numb to it, don't affects them in a different type of way, they don't really work, it doesn't teach them any consequences, but that punishment did though. That's agonizing. Sitting in the house, watching all your friends outside.
And you can't go play. I've been there. You can't go play.
Head pressed to your window like this.
No.
Friends knocking on your bedroom door.
You can't come out? No, you know I can't come out. Get away from my window. You already know. That's why you're knocking on the window. You know you can't ring the doorbell. I can't come out. So,
so these new age parents that like to embarrass their kids on the internet.
Oh no!
That's
you know what? I haven't really seen that. So maybe I got a different embarrass their kids on the internet. I haven't really seen that.
Dang.
Have you, Cassie?
Embarrassing. I have. I haven't seen it personally.
It was a thing for a few years.
Embarrass them like what? Like what would you do on the internet?
Like weren't they like some of them like spanking them on lives and stuff?
It was a bunch of different stuff.
Them online, having them stand up with a sign, I stole.
Yeah.
I saw that. One girl, her mother came into the room and videoed her room and talked about how nasty she was. And said, y'all see how nasty she is? That's
no.
I mean, like, videoed it.
The lady made her son dance. He got in trouble for dancing in school.
Yep.
And she recorded him dancing until he couldn't dance anymore, and he was like standing there crying, dancing.
Oh, that's too much.
That's like that's
too
inhumane. That's like shaming and yeah.
So I'll share this, and it's personal, but it's transparent. What really got my gears to turning on this was I could see, and my son, he's 20 now. But when he was younger and I was still in the mode of, you know what I mean? Like, I'm the parent and you know, and that whole thing, this traditional mode. One day I looked into his eyes and I had to ask myself, do I want him to respect me or fear me?
Right.
I'm obviously bigger than him.
Yeah.
Right. You know, and I can get mad and I can do all of that. And in my mind, you know, this is how good black children are raised. And this is how, but when I saw it, I was like, I don't know if I want that look in my son's eyes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like this is my main man. This is, you know, the heir to the throne of Zamunda, whatever you want to call it, right? But do I want that look? And I didn't want that look.
Yeah.
I didn't want that look. You know what I mean? And he's, you know, if you meet him, I mean, he's super. I didn't need to beat him for him to be respectful or him to be smart or for him to go to school or for him to, right?
Yeah.
He takes care of his business. He's 20 now. He's a engineering student at Purdue. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I mean, he's a great kid, but I mean, I didn't need to string him up from a tree in order for that to happen.
I think people don't realize that fear can only go so far.
Right.
When you put a child or anybody in fear of you, they're eventually going to go seek security elsewhere.
Yeah.
And if that security is bigger than you, then, you know, now they've won at this particular point, and now they've got you in fear of them, but you've also lost their loyalty and their trust, right? But with respect, you know, you're going to have a reciprocal relationship, and they start to understand, like you said, they understand that disappointment. They understand that there comes, you know, when someone's loving you and you're not doing right, then consequences come from that. And most importantly, you know, you don't get what you need when you are disrespecting, you know, your loved one.
That's real, because I'm in a situation right now.
I was my father my whole life.
I'm 29.
Wow.
I'm almost 30.
And he passed in April. And he was sick for a while before he passed. And nothing in me felt like I should have been there taking care of him. Nothing. When my mother was sick and down, I couldn't imagine myself being anywhere but with her, taking care of her. I didn't feel that way about my father. I loved him, but he was a tyrant, and that shaded how I felt about him. I loved him, but I mean, I don't want to be around somebody that scared me.
Yeah.
No, that's real talk.
Yeah.
That's real talk. I got something I want to say. I guess it's like Disclosure Thursday or whatever. Ryan, go ahead. Get your. You 29. Go ahead.
This is disclosure too.
Okay.
Me and my father are just now mending our relationship because of that same reason. And I'm 20. And I'm just now having these talks with him about what it did and what it does to you.
Yeah.
Like the effects. Like you don't understand how you being so tough. Because my father was military.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so I'm a son of a vet.
Oh,
yeah.
Man. Wow.
So it was like you can't play with me, you can't joke with me. It was just do as I say, not as I do. And it was a fear. Like when we came, like my mother, he didn't live with us. Right? So we only seen him on every weekends or every other weekends. So it was to the point like when my mother would threaten us with a phone call from your father. So like if I didn't clean my room, if I got bad grades, she'd be like, "I'm going to call your father." So it was more like a threat than.
Yeah.
My father was more like a threat to me.
That's real. That's real. So I'll go next. It's disclosure. It's Disclosure Thursday. I felt between first of all, and shout out to Big Ron that you all are having, because I don't know if he's watching, but I've seen kind of some things recently, and the fact that you all are having the conversation, because some people never get to that conversation. I never got to that conversation with my dad, similar to Dina, right? But I was also my dad's caretaker, right? And so I love my dad, but the conversations I have with my son, I never had with my dad, like a girl, what to do in this situation, blah, blah, blah. It was always just, you know what I mean? What you doing? What's the results? Are you blah, blah, blah? Right. And my mom used to pull that card all the time. She was like, and it worked. Like, you out here doing blah, blah, blah. Don't have me have to tell your dad. Right. And I was like, it's over. Time. I'm done. Like, gee, don't, whatever you doing, you do not tell him.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
so
me is my mother. She a
no comment.
Girl.
Hey, Mom, I love
you. She was a black girl, but I've only got one whooping in my life, and it wasn't from her. It was from my stepfather, and it wasn't even for nothing that I did. It was because I was with my cousins who was out here. They was always acting up,
right?
And I was in the same room. It's the group, like,
the group
man,
whooping, right? Like,
and that like did something to me because again, I had never had even a whooping before, so it was just like it created a distance that I'd already had with him.
You already had distance because he's stepfather, right? Or whatever that is. Now you gonna whoop me,
and now it created it even further. Now my mom, she just got the good, games, like all of the karate stuff, and she wouldn't even have to like do too much. She was kind of one of them embarrassing parents, right? Not no hold up no sign, but you be outside with all your friends, you do something bad, and then she gonna come and smack you right here in the middle of the forehead in front of everybody, and you so ready you want to hit back, but it's gonna go down if you do. But she just really keeping you in check right there. So that's how she would actually get me. And I just didn't mess with that woman, and I ain't really get too much. I ain't do nothing to her.
So I'm thinking about how Ron. I want to say something, brother. I really appreciate Dina. Like this whole conversation, right? Maybe I'm having it's a therapy Thursday.
It's for everybody.
Maybe that's why nobody. Maybe that's why the people are like, they finna do therapy.
Depressing.
Right. Well, but no, this is a great conversation. You all can comment because Maganiel put in the comments, is there a balance? But so I certainly think that there's
some YouTube stuff.
Oh, okay. And we want to get to those questions and kind of talk about them. I think there is definitely. So it's kind of like what you say with me about my diet. Mm-hmm. Right? It's kind of like, is there a balance? So my balance is different, right? Like when I talk about Cassie, man, I went off the rails, and she'd be like,
the rails of what? You are a whole vegan, ain't touched meat ever, don't even think about it in the last 20 years. And he'd be like, I went off the rails. How?
I went off the rails because in the new version of my diet, I don't eat oil.
Oh wow.
I don't eat oil, so I'd be like, man, I ate this salad and it had oil in it. She'd be like, Sadiq, stop talking to
If
me.
you don't get out of my face.
But so I bring that up not to. I really don't want to shine a light on that. What I'm saying is, I think the balance depends on where you are. I think the balance, and so and I've been balanced in that. Like I've been working on myself, my diet for different reasons.
Yeah.
Right. But I think the balance is, I don't know, for me, I don't think there really is room to like beat a child. Now, yeah, but I think as we push forward into other areas, right, I think the balance becomes different because the bar is moved. And I think it's something worth investigating. Like when I think about just my own children, or because in my 20s I was that guy like, man, they should beat their kids. This kid running around here, blah blah blah, and all of that. And then I'm just like, right, it doesn't, at this point in my life, it doesn't make sense. And I'm just reflecting on even the conversation about how I felt when I was my dad's caretaker. Right. And, or, you just now having these conversations with your dad at 29. Right. And the conversations I wish that I was able to have. Now I'm able to have them with my son because I want to look in his eyes and be, son, you can talk to me, not this tyrant. You know what I mean? Sit up straight. Bye.
Yeah.
And so, Therapy Thursday on the green side.
I want to shout out Kimmett out here. He said, Cassie, the USA could use you in the government. That technique would root out corruption immediately. I guess he talked about how I handle MJ and the whole stealing the money.
Taking the money back?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm coming straight up.
And then Leona Abdullah Ward says, we have to realize why we did what we did and learn from it. That will get rid of the anger.
I got it. And so inside of that, and I'm with that, right? Learn why we did what we did when we did it, but do we still have to do it? Where are we now in terms of time frame? What's the
Boosie says, no oil. What dressing you use?
Boosie, we talking about corporal punishment right now. I'll get to the no oil in the last 5 minutes of the show. So hang around right now. We all in the middle of this super sensitive conversation. See, like, what are you doing?
About the oil.
Right. That's punishment in itself. Y'all crazy. I love our viewership, right?
Yes.
And our listenership is so crazy. So, all right, we're gonna lighten the mood a little bit. Dina Dean, you got a piece or two you can do for us to lighten this mood. You are an artist. Let's show the people what you've been on for the last 20 plus years. You got something, and maybe you could say what the piece is talking about, and then before we go to break, because we got about 5 minutes before we have to go to break. Hit us up with something. What you got?
I'm gonna do my favorite piece.
All right. Oh, I love that.
She cold, y'all. Watch out.
She cold. Hold on before you go on, then we got to do this. Before you go on.
Here we go. All right.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes I talk to strangers. Usually a brown girl. I tell her she's beautiful in case she's never heard it. In case her father deserted. In case that left her mother so hurted, broke her. See, we've never met, but I know her and her bottom heavy blues. No, she's been paying dues due to her since life was new to her. No, she grew her hurt from a seedling, inherited the seething anger her mother bore. No, she talks and dresses loudly because she's been ignored, dismissed, disconnected from her inheritance. I know at home the air is this. Hence with the stench of fried chicken and dreams deferred, I see her on L platforms and their bus stops. I know she does not play that shit. She announces this. Eyes intense. I know she spent her last on hair that grazed the top of her round brown ass, all this for attractive. I know for a fact it's not needed. Features so striking the whole world sees it, but she don't believe it. Thinks I'm messing with her when I say, you something, sister. Something so powerful they tried to erase you, tried to replace you, tried to downplay your allure so that men wouldn't take you, rape you, hate you, trying to emulate you, but can't get it right. They can copy your style, but there's no replicating your life. I take the fight right out of her. Wish that I could take the hurt. Hug her till she never cries again. Teach her the power in her skin. Remind her that she's Shiva's skin. And yeah, society exploits your losses, but baby, they can't take your wins. You decide how your story ends. It don't matter if you got no ends and no friends or full family tree with no men. Once you men, you can reset you can reset the you can reset the balance. Oh shit. Stop the damn phone. You can reset the rebuild the nation. Your hips alone are an invitation. Got God's waiting in line just to bask in your shine. They think they're trying to holler because you fine, but their DNA knows there's an antidote in your bloodline. You were designed to be a healer, to be a builder. You can rock fake nails, fake lashes, and couldn't be real. We're at war. You're a gorilla, a soldier, carrying the weight of generational curses, poverty, and molestation on your shoulders, pushing your dreams and your baby in a stroller, and still ain't nobody colder. You cold switch in your hips out of Dakota, swaying in the wind, slaying all the men. Clearly, you're in your elements. Clearly, you are an element. It's been evident ever since you were your great great granny down in the bayou. They passed laws forcing you to cover your hair, to hide you, to bind you. They tried to put you down, and you turned your finish into a crown. Everywhere you walk is fertile ground. The soil knows your worth. God damn it, earth recognize earth, so go on and plant something. You are a creator. You are a saver. You ain't Jesus, but guess who you favor? The real Madonna. Like you, she was a melanated mama. And I don't mean the material, girl. I'm saying you ethereal, girl. You're not of this world. You transcended. You was commended. You was commended. You are the axis. You keep it spinning. They try to put you down, but you've always been the beginning. The Genesis, Gene Isis. That means you were born into power. You might be in the belly of the beast, but you won't be devoured.
Come on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Before I did it.
Yes, girl. Listen, talk about something. You pushed your dreams and your baby in a stroller. Come on. Woo.
Snap the poetry.
Yeah. But I mean, do you have a snap?
All together now.
1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we want to celebrate. Now that's fire, right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, no doubt. So Dana, if you got a couple more minutes, can you stay with us until after the break just for a little bit?
Sure.
Okay, great. So this is what we're gonna do, everybody. We're going to recalibrate. We're gonna take this break. We know everybody out there is thinking about them whoopings. And whooping your
Fallon,
kids.
talk about someone never got whoopings.
Right.
Can you tell?
Yes, Fallon. We can. No, I'm teasing.
No, we can't tell.
No, we can't tell. Okay. So that being said, while you guys are out there doing a self-assessment, we need you to like,
comment,
and share. We need you to do it right now. Come on back with us for the last half hour. It's Sadiq, and we are talking with Dina Dean, and we're gonna wrap up. But we'll see you on the other side of the break.
WIFTBPM.
WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me.
Welcome to Inhale Exhale, you guys. We're your health home girls, Dr. Tanks Lee and Danny Time. We are being joined today by a guest, Samantha Allen, who's going to work with us today about attachment styles.
Preoccupied, anxious, that's more so a child that comes from a background where the parent or the caregiver was kind of all over the place. You didn't know what you were going to get, so you were clinging to them when you did have their attention, because sometimes I might have it, other times I might not. Because that, it creates an anxiousness in the child Whereas when I get your attention, I want to hold on to it. I want to make sure. So I might cry when you leave, or I always want you around. I'm craving your attention. You know, mother-father relationship. The father passed away. Now the mother is over busy. She's working all the time. She doesn't have as much attention as she once had for the children. So now this created an anxious attachment style. Those adults grow up more, considered more clingy in relationships, always wanting attention or feeling like I need to make sure we're okay, fear abandonment, fear that we might be breaking up or you might be leaving me alone. So I might check in with you more often. I might call you more. I just need to be assured that everything is okay with our relationship. That anxiousness part is the anxiety of the relationship, of always thinking something, something might be going wrong. If I called you, you don't answer. Are you upset with me? What did I do? Let's figure this out. Let's work this out. You're always kind of on edge about where your relationship will go.
You get a piece of paper, write down the event, the thought, emotion, and then logic. So in this case, say that your boyfriend didn't text you back. Okay, that's the event. What is your thought? Oh, well, he doesn't care. What's your emotion? I feel unworthy. What's the logic? Well, maybe he's asleep. So you gotta do that. That's addressing some of the symptoms. But overall, you want to engage self-love and self-discovery, right? And just kind of reprogramming your subconscious.
Sometimes have a tendency to look at you religiously, but nothing even matters to me. Nothing even matters. Nothing even matters. Nothing even matters. You won't find me at no store. No time for manicures. With you it's never either one. 'Cause nothing even matters. Nothing even matters. Nothing even matters at all. Nothing even matters. Now my team could score and make it to the Final Four. Just repossess me 4x4. Yeah, 'cause nothing even matters no more. Nothing even matters, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Nothing even matters to me. Baby,
Welcome back to the green side of things. It's your man Sadiq
and Cassiopeia.
And before the break, we had on the great Dina Dean, and we got a surprise. The surprise was for Dina. Kari said he can't hear us.
I don't know what to tell you.
Dina, I did this just for you. He's my man. What'd you say?
I said that's my friend. That's my
man, do I know it's your friend? He's your friend. He's my man. He's also a Beasley B.
Beasley!
He's a B. Kahari, can you hear us?
He still can't hear us.
He still can't hear. You can't hear us? Oh, he can't hear us. Why can't he hear us, Ryan? What's going on?
It's something on his end.
Hey man, they saying your computer's janky.
Kahari,
it was me. It was totally me. It was me.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, yeah, we don't control the sound.
Hey, so listen, we wanted to I wanted to lighten the mood. I was appreciating Dina for taking time out. She just snapped before the break, and then I was like, man. And I actually did this, Dina, before I saw you changed your what's it called on Facebook? Like, is your profile, not your profile picture, but you changed one of your pictures.
Yeah, my profile picture.
Yeah. And you had Kahari in it, and I was like, damn, he's going to be on the show, because I asked him, I was like, man, I want to give a little surprise to Dina just for hanging out with us and invite Kahari on. You are two of my favorite people. So, Kahari, what's up?
Dina Dean, this is your life.
I love it. So, Kahari, do this for me, man. Tell me your favorite Dina Dean story real quick before she have a chance to interrupt you.
Make it juicy.
Yeah, make it juicy. She's smiling.
Use any expletives?
Yes, yeah. Well, we'll
yes,
as many. Wait, no. Whatever you use, we take from Cassie, because that's five. You got 5, so you got 5, Kahari. Go ahead.
Bet. So this is not necessarily my favorite. This is my mother's favorite.
That's even more gooder.
Every single time.
Okay.
So we were at a set on the West Side. I won't say the name of the place. We were at this set on the West Side, and there's a lot of talking going on during the set. And I don't know if Dina started this or not, but somehow she got into an exchange with a sister that was there. And Dina was like, what that bitch say? and some guy shouted out, you don't call her no bitch. I'm her daddy. She was like, bitches got daddies too.
That's terrible. That's awful. I knew we were going to have something going to be fighting. Kahari said that I could find a fight by myself in a box. But I thought, God, people be messing with me. Remember when I almost had to fight the ECA? Who almost fights at the ECA theater?
Hey, wait a minute. Wait. I got to ask this. Is that the whole story?
That's as much as it needed to be.
That's as much as. Hey, first of all, I love it, right? I love it.
Me too.
Because how quick do you have to be? Like, that's a movie line.
Yeah, that's quick.
That's right. Quick. In order to come back, wait a minute, because he's serious. Like, hey, wait a minute. That's my daughter. You understand? I don't care.
Bitches got daddies.
Hey, they got daddies too.
That's quick.
Hey, Dina, real talk, that should be a poem.
Yeah.
Like, you should write that out. It should, like, that's hot.
See, you are encouraging the foolishness.
Am I encouraging? That's my look.
An awesome poem.
That's an awesome poem. Look, it's Therapy Thursday, y'all.
Listen, right? So Kahari, as you know, like we're on this show trying to be more balanced, right?
Right.
We got our militant selves with our priestly selves, with our in-between selves, with just off the block self, with the vegan self, to the swine eating self.
Right,
all
Ron.
the selves is up in there.
It's a lot, right? It's a whole lot.
You know, you just want to keep it balanced. You don't want to be on no extreme side of any of it.
Right.
Sometimes the bitch's daddies gotta be told that they the daddy of a bitch.
Now I gotta ask Dina this.
They go 4. We only got 1 left.
Dina, right? That's cool, and I know you're gonna use it. Dina, do you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, she's like, yeah, for sure. I remember.
If I remember it, she definitely remembers it. She's the one that remembers everything between us.
I do.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to hear?
No, what'd you say?
You want to hear my favorite story about Kahari?
Please. That's where I was headed next. Hold on.
I feel like that's easy.
Hold on. Slow down. Let us have it.
There's probably more than one, but let's go.
Let us have.
It's time for me to go off. I gotta go.
In my mind, Kahari is 6'7", 300 pounds. I thought him was a fight all the time. Like I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna tell Kahari. Like he like you. Like I'm gonna tell Kahari. So look, the guy was going around the poetry set showing pictures of his penis on his.
Oh Lord, today.
Like oh, hey, you want to see something? That's what it.
No.
So I told Kahari that he did it to me. But the guy was already gone. He was mad. Like, why you didn't tell me why he was here? I could have checked him while he was here. I don't, whatever. I don't know. So, by chance, we're at the Negro League. Like a few days later, the guy comes in, and a younger poet was sitting next to him. And Kahari said, "Look, if he say one thing out of line, you let us know right away." He said, "Okay." So she texted me and said. He asked me if I want to see a picture. I goes to Fanon. Fanon was the host. He was like, I need to get on the mic right now. He's like, hey, cool. So he get on the mic and says, all this nice stuff about sisters and our greatest wealth is to our women, and we have to protect them. And with that being said, there's a creep amongst us.
Ooh!
His brother, he's pointing them out. He's going around showing women pictures of his fingers, and he was like, wow. The dude was like, wow. He's like, yeah, you. The dude was on fire. Dude was on fire. No, I want to talk to him. So Kahari does his phone, puts it back on the mic stand, hips out like George Jefferson was like, follow me. The dude come behind him. I was like, he said the dude was pissed off, put him on front street, but he stopped showing that penis to everybody too.
That's what's up.
Wow.
Yes,
go Kahari.
Kahari since the fight. I'll be like,
That's hilarious. First of all,
way to go.
Running.
First of all, for being the big brother. You understand?
Yeah,
that's what's up.
But why was the creeper not embarrassed?
Right, because he was like, "Whoa, good poem."
Acknowledged.
he was like, "That's hot."
Like yeah, that's me. Like who does that?
He just thought he couldn't believe that he put on his laugh like that.
Because he's a sociopath. He's a sociopath.
Or was he a little like touched? That's the word I'll use.
Yeah, he's off. First of all, you got to be off to be carrying that picture and then showing it around. I stopped that years ago.
Multiple of it.
Years ago.
You know what though? I'm gonna tell y'all this. The most of the guys who really want to show it, it's not that impressive.
Girl.
Like,
wow.
I can take a picture of that.
And that's why I stopped.
It wasn't Trey Songz, huh? I'm done.
And that's why I quit. No, you know what, y'all? That is so awesome because really, even in both of those favorite stories, it points to community and looking out. Favorite stories.
Maganiel.
What did he say?
It's disgusting, and he says, "Which hand do I use today?"
You know what? Stop. Time out. Where did we go? We were on Therapy Thursday. We invited Kahari on, and I think the show are we going down in flames?
It's Ratchet Weekend.
Is it the weekend just started?
Weekends do start on Thursdays for a lot of people.
Weekends, back when outside was open, weekends officially started on
Weekend
Thursday.
has officially started. So, Dina, talk to us about these books. You're going to make me go get one of these novels. Talk to me about, huh?
Get all of them.
Right, I'm gonna get all of them, but talk to me about what's the latest one. What can we find? Because it's some people, and I'm gonna claim ignorance. Right, I didn't know until maybe 6 or 7 months ago, reading your post, right, that you even wrote novels, right, and that how talented beyond just being on the stage. So, talk to us a little bit about this, these books you write, how people can get them, and tell us a little bit about them.
Okay, so the first book, I wrote it about 10 years ago. And it's called Boy Crazy. It's about a teen mom and her family. It's layered though. Like, it's like her grandmother, the whole family, the whole village comes together because she's a teen mom. She has this baby. And the book is long. It was like 530 pages.
Oh
Wow,
wow.
count me out.
Yeah, I didn't wait. So I didn't know about like publishing or anything like that. But if I just published myself through on Amazon Prime, you got Amazon Prime, you can publish your book for free on there.
Okay.
But if they're that long, it's like the money it costs to print the book and to sell it, like you're not gonna make any money because the book is so long.
Yeah.
But I wanted people to read it. But so the digital was the best way. But I kept sending it out to different publishers, and then finally a publisher called me and they picked up the book. So I have a publisher now. They republished it in 2 parts, so it's not that long. It's Boy Crazy 1 and 2.
Nice.
And then everyone's favorite character in those books was a sister named Tony. And she's tough, and she likes to fight, and she got a foul mouth. But we find out why in this book. So it's called Me Tony, Love in the Shack. And you get to find out why, like, why is Tony fighting all the time? Why she got such a slick mouth? Why, you get her whole story. And that was, they're getting really good reviews on Amazon. They're only available digital right now. So
I love it.
Yes.
And Dina Dean, we got to get that book on the Black Mall.
Come on.
We got to get that book on the Black Mall, okay?
Yes.
Boy Crazy 1 and Boy Crazy 2. And there's a third book, right? Is there a third book?
Yep, Call Me Tony.
We
No, say it one more time.
Call Me Tony.
Call me Tony. Okay.
Tony. Listen, I started being boy crazy at the age of 3. I remember crushes at
And
that.
on that note,
good night, everybody.
it's Therapy Thursday, continued on the green side of things. Cassie was boy crazy at 3.
Right, I wasn't abused or anything. Not at all.
So
maybe it was some of the DNA. I don't know, but I remember having a crush at 3.
Hey, it's cool. Whatever works, as long as it was all natural.
I had a prom date at 5.
Okay.
Because my nursery school had a prom.
Oh yeah, okay, I can see that.
And it was Little Donald.
Where did you go to nursery school?
In Lollipop.
Lollipop. Okay.
Lollipop Nursery School. It's on.
That sounds inappropriate. Everything was wrong with the name of that. Everything.
There's nothing right about Lollipop Nursery School.
That has a
sponsored by
prom.
the Catholic Church.
Right.
Hey,
they had
Ryan,
2 locations.
they gonna take our whole show off the air today.
And then she said they had 2 locations.
2 locations. Right off of 87th and Ashland.
I bet they did.
Kitty Corn has never been the same.
I love me some Little Donald.
Lollipop Nursery School.
And my teacher was Miss Mac.
So as we see,
You're making it worse, Cass. You're making it way worse with every sentence.
Lord have mercy.
A franchise of Kitty Corn and Lollipop. Like, this is really happening.
oh boy.
Oh, that's great.
All
Boy
the great
Crazy
corn stars
2.
Cass, now we know. They all went to Lollipop.
All the great porn stars.
It all started at the Lollipop Nursery School.
You gonna make them say
Look, I miss Lollipop.
Hey, Ryan, we had a clean show for a minute. Yeah.
And then you let
tried
me
it.
in.
We tried it. We're gonna try again Tuesday. We're gonna rewind and we're gonna go back Tuesday. Kahari, since we invited you on, I wanted to treat Dina. Know you one of her favorite people of mine too. Tell us a little bit about where we can find you and what's happening next.
What's happening next? I'm still pushing Haiku for Justice. That's my last book. And it came out shortly before the pandemic, so I really didn't get to promote it like I wanted to, put it on the road and all of that stuff. So I'm looking at new ways to do that with Haiku for Justice. For 365 plus days of what's the name of the damn book? 365 plus day commentary of injustice in America and abroad, poetry in the age of social media. And then I'm finishing up Karen Must Be Stopped. And it's all book, it's all poems about Karen incidences over the last few years. So Karen Must Be Stopped.
I got a question.
Off the books. No one should be named Karen after 2020.
I got a question. Oh, they're going to name him Karen. I got a question.
Now, why did Karen don't ever get beat up? Do they be Karen in Chicago? Because I would be Karen's ass. I'm gonna let y'all know.
And Karen got a daddy. You know what I mean? Karen's got daddies too.
Right. Daddies too.
First of all, old Karens think they camels. They be spitting on people. Yeah, right now. Karen gonna
wow.
And then I'm gonna be up.
Hey, listen, we got a couple minutes. I need you, Dina, and Kahari.
Okay.
We do. We got 3 minutes before we get thrown off.
Okay.
Yeah. You all can help. Cassie and I are trying to find racism in Buckingham
in the
Palace. if after the explosive Meghan Markle interviews, Prince, which one is Meghan married to?
Meghan's married to Harry.
Okay, I'm not right. But Prince William, his brother, came out and said that the royal family was a very, very non-racist family. Mm-hmm. And so in my attempt to be balanced, that's what he said, it's a quote. In my attempt to be very balanced, I was just like, you know what? I think he might be right. I think that the last place you would look for racism on the planet is the castle in Britain.
He play all night, don't he?
Wasn't Prince William the one banging out 16-year-olds with Epstein? That one.
So officially to our sponsors, we are. Yeah, that was him. That was him. But that has nothing to do with racism. That's not racism, Kahari. That's not racism.
That's not racist.
Now, if you talk about pedophilia,
well, that might not even be pedophilia because he might have just been giving 16-year-olds a chance.
Or he might, you know,
he said she was 18. Cassie.
He might have just been there like some of the rest of them, like Oprah and I think Ellen and the Clintons.
Did you just say that? What'd you say, Dina?
He said she gone. Still on the positives. We all died after this one.
Yeah, we're gonna be out there.
That's what they said.
They did say that.
That's what they said. I don't know, but that's what they said.
We have no idea.
They said a lot of people was there, and all of them wasn't like involved. They didn't know.
Right, they were just at the party.
They just was there at the party.
Like you was at the party, or you was at the event when you got spanked because your cousins. You were there.
Oh,
you didn't do anything.
Like where we going?
Right, where we going with this? Cassie's like, how did you find out I was there? No, that's not
Cassie,
it.
What's going on here? Oh my!
So listen, you all. I want to thank you, Dina. I want to thank you so much for sharing the day with us. Kahari, thank you for jumping on with us. To our viewers and our listeners, we really appreciate you all because we tackled some heavy stuff today.
Yeah.
And I want to remind everybody that both of these young black prominent Chicago people are activists through their art. Karen Must Be Stopped, Haiku for Justice, Dina Ding, she's got books out, Boy Crazy 1, Boy Crazy 2, Call Me Tony. Like, you got to check these people out. Their activism lives through their art. We love what you do. You lay it down for the shy, for black people across the globe, and we love you and appreciate you. And to our viewership, have a great weekend. We'll see you next Tuesday. It's Sadiq.
And Cassiopeia.
You've been on the green side. We'll see you next week. We love you. Peace.